Paris, la ville lumière, et surtout pour nous, l'endroit de la finale mondiale de cette année. Cependant, n'allons pas trop vite. Sur la route de la gloire, il est important d'avancer pas à pas. Un chef-d'œuvre n'est pas sculpté en une nuit ou peint en un jour. De la même façon, un champion n'est pas né en une seule partie.
Into Diana, here we go.
The Robo right now, you have AoE strip, you have AoE stunts, you have AoE resets, you have AoE slows, there's so much going on.
Tous les joueurs espèrent atteindre la finale mondiale, mais que quelques-uns y parviendront. Leur parcours ne sera pas facile. Mais s'ils ont ce qu'il faut, ils finiront par l'emporter. Certains pourraient même entrer dans la légende, leurs histoires racontées pendant des années. Mais il est encore trop tôt pour y penser. Si nos joueurs veulent une chance d'aller aussi loin, ils vont devoir relever de nombreux défis avec des risques d'échec à chaque tournant.
That is so unlucky for Timber.
He could just spark. And he'd stun her with the Bellio.
No resisted say.
Leur détermination devra être à toute épreuve lorsqu'ils se battront dans les préliminaires européens pour se rapprocher de leur but et d'affronter l'élite dans la Coupe d'Europe. Il est temps pour nos joueurs de poser les bases de leur rêve de devenir champion du monde.
We see a huge proc from Diana. My team is right on the start of this now, Oliver.
For that skill 3, you have to land a lot of deeper. He lands all of them. Bravo.
Very well placed by PINKROID.
The branding, the addition of turn is just doing so much damage.
Leur chemin vers la gloire commence maintenant.
Hello there and welcome to the Summoners War World Arena Championships 2025, the Europe Preliminaries. It's great to have you here with us. My name is Adam Savage. I'm joined by the almighty Seishizu and Sam. The boys are back together. The band's back together. It's great to have you guys here with us for what's going to be an amazing next couple of months here. Fellas, let's kick things off. Seishizu, how are you feeling about this EU prelims? Are we excited about this one?
We're absolutely excited. We got 60 amazing players. 8 today, another 8 tomorrow, and then we also have the lower bracket coming Saturday. So there's a lot of Summoners War European action coming your way.
Sam, I can see as well you're absolutely gassed for this. You're excited for this too. Obviously, players are on standby. How do you think they're feeling right now?
I mean, there's going to be a mix of different emotions, I think. We've got like some new faces within the competition, but we've got some veterans around as well. So it's all going to be seeing how they can take it in their step ready for the Europe Preliminaries today, Adam.
Yeah, that's right. We've got so much to look forward to, and you're going to see exactly how things are going to pan out now. Welcome to the overview of our tournament here. You can see here $216,000 up for grabs here, totally here in the SWC World Arena Championship 2025. But walk us through how exactly they're going to earn some of that lovely money.
Well, the simple thing that they have to do right now is they have to win 2 matches. They are playing potentially 3, but they have to win 2 of those. If you win 2, you're in. If you lose 2, you're out. But if you lose just 1, you can still go in that lower bracket and still make your way up to the 2 victories. We also do see on the screen, once again, we have a World Championship with 12 players. That does mean that we have 3 Europeans qualifying for the World Finals. But first, they're going to make it to Europe Cup as well. Plus, we did already see Guts the Berserk qualified for that open qualifier spot in France.
Exactly. One guaranteed French player is already going to be at the World Finals. From the 16 over the next 2 days, we've actually only got 1 more French player that could potentially join him there. But everybody else is vying to get to that Europe Cup and eventually meet him in the World Finals, Adam.
Yeah, they certainly are. Guts is locked in. Who will be joining? We'll find out soon. You can see, if you guys at home as well, loads of fun stuff to get involved with. Our shop event here, you can see the SWC emblem is indeed back with even bigger rewards. You've got scrolls and mana and all sorts of things across the course of the next weekend here, next weekend, and all coming your way over the next few months here. You can see live stream coupon codes. You can exchange them for amazing things inside the store as well there. So you can elevate your summoning when it comes to SW as well. You can see here loads. We're excited here on the broadcast for you guys to take something away from this as well. I mean, Sam, taking things away from this event as well for the fans at home, that's just an added bonus what's in store for them visually over the course of our competition.
Exactly. That's why you should be watching, if not just for the competitors and to support your favourite players as well. But there's obviously going to be some coupon codes coming to you throughout the rest of the day. Make sure you're getting in the chat, seeing the links that all of our lovely CMs are going to be putting in there. And make sure you can summon something really nice. I mean, just to add, Did get 3 quads today, Adam. A little bit of a humble brag, and I know Say is very proud of me for that.
Well, I would say you have one stat quad sitting on the 24, but the 29 speed, that's the one people get jealous for, and that's the one that SWC players are also definitely looking for. So let's see if they also got their quads or they have something to show us, which we haven't seen yet in the current meta.
Yeah, he also says humble brag. Every time it's happened, he's jumped out of his chair and told everyone around him. So there's no humble with Sam. He lets the world know, and I respect it enormously. Before we go into the kind of nitty-gritty of what's coming our way in terms of brackets, a quick kind of talk about meta very quickly. Say, what do you think we're going to expect to see from our players this year? What's going to be kind of more kind of like commonplace when it comes to the selection of monsters and things?
Well, we definitely have seen it in the past where we called the Holy Trinity the Velajul Chandra Sagar. But in this case, it's going to be the Oliver, Shiho, and Okeanos paired with a Josephine. So it's definitely going to be the question, are those units going to be all locked in on one side or are they going to be counterpicked?
Are they going to be counterpicked? Indeed. One thing that you can also pick at home, great segue there, the predictions, of course, as well here. Predicting the results of SWC 2025 prelims and earning awesome rewards is on the cards for you lot too here. You can see up for grabs here the SWC 2025 emblems, which are an absolute game changer. The shop we've talked about as well here too. But of course, recently, an amazing thing which was announced and shared with you guys at home. Tekken 8 Summoner's War is meeting Tekken 8 now as well. The Ultimate Showdown is happening right now on the Sky Island. So you can log in, enjoy the collab exclusive Nat 5 Hey Harchi giveaway event, collab scrolls, plenty more. You can see it on the screen. And my man Paul there, always a preferred character of mine. Sam, do we agree Seishizo and Paul share a lot of similarities physically?
Yep, the haircut is on point right there. And if not, make sure you're tuning in for the future days because maybe we can try and get something arranged. But maybe to mention as well, Adam, is the units from Tekken 8 won't be allowed to be used during our Europe preliminaries, only from the regional cups. So we won't see any of them today, but maybe in the future.
Absolutely right there. You can see the bracket as well is popped up on screen. This is what you can look forward to. Obviously, a day 1 today, day 2 tomorrow, and next Saturday as well, you'll have the lower bracket finals coming up. But before then, obviously, what is coming our way, courtesy of our 4 quarterfinals first and foremost. We mentioned earlier, veterans, new players too. We've got a real mixed bag here. Which matchup particularly sticks out for you?
Well, for me, it's going to be that first match because, once again, Neff was the winner of last year, so let's see how he can make it out. FAMICOM is actually new to the stage. However, not really, actually. He played in the 2v2s before. He was a viewer at the 2v2 Gamescom at that moment, where he was invited on stage to play with one of our pro players. In that case, he was actually playing together with Neff. So now he's playing, rather than with Neff, he's playing against Neff, which is definitely going to be an interesting one right there. Sam, what would you say?
I mean, that lower side of the bracket as well. TITOGOFLETTE, OBABO, SAMBSEPP, PINKROID. If I was one of those players, I'd have been having nightmares looking at actually the bracket reveal and seeing who you're playing against because those competitors are worthy of a Europe Cup spot, but you're going to have to beat somebody just as good, if not better than yourself to even get there.
Yeah, you certainly are. I mean, obviously, you can see there are 2 spots today. We'll be going through to the Europe Cup. Obviously, 2 spots tomorrow. That's 4 places. Next weekend, there's 4 up for grabs too. 8 in total there. So, I mean, how pivotal? Say you've been in this position before. You've competed. You've placed. You've gotten into the Europe Cup previously. How much of a massive advantage is it to actually go through on the first day of these kind of bracket-based tournaments as well, rather than having to kind of really dig deep come next weekend?
Well, it's always really relaxing to not have to play the 3rd day, which is just really nice. Plus, you have the bonus of everyone that plays in from day 1 or day 2 has to be facing off against someone from day 3. So you also have a more favorable position in your bracket in Europe Cup. So definitely you want to take those Ws right on the day 1 and the day 2.
You certainly do. I think that's a really good point to make, actually. And we'll see exactly how our newbies, debutantes, go toe-to-toe with some of our vets here. You can see one of them on screen right now. FAMICOM is up first against Neff, as mentioned. Not only a cuddly bear of a man, but also champion 2 in the Europe Cup. So it's going to be a really meaty performance. It needs to be very special in FAMICOM. Sam, what does FAMICOM have to do here? We can see kind of most picked and most banned units on the screen. What is it going to take to beat Neff out here?
I think FAMICOM is coming up against a really strong player in the form of Neff with all of his different boxing units that he can use. You can see here from FAMICOM most picked, the Gianna being in there, the Yonhong, Mi Ying. In the current meta right now, might have to change things up slightly. We can see he doesn't really like playing against that Oliver as well, which is a main unit of a lot of the players right now. But how is he going to deal with Neff, who is just an all-timer right now? 3rd place last year at the World Finals, say.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, the big question is he going to still going for that secret plus Han plus Ragdoll playstyle? Because it worked very well last year. However, this year, you have the Fire Megami to a unit that a lot of the players that like to play turn 1 AoE comms does not really work that well. So, one of those questions, is Neff just going to join the meta, Shiho, Oliver, Okeanos kind of style? Or is he still adding in something that we haven't seen yet, as he did last year with that secret?
Yeah. I think one big thing as well. You mentioned about how Famicom was involved in playing a pro up on stage previously. The community aspect to Summoners War as well was always such a big factor here as well. And these two know each other. How does that play into it? Kind of like again, like Sam, the friendship element, the kind of like knowing one another as well, that knowing who you're up against. Like, is that to give you an advantage in a way that you can kind of imagine what they're going to be bringing to the party, bringing to the table, or do you think we're going to see some surprises today?
I mean, hopefully we see some surprises, but in all honesty, from these players, they're tried and tested, and getting straight into this match as well, we'll find out straight away from here, Adam.
Yes, we certainly are. All the matches in the quarterfinals here are best of 5s. It's Neff versus Famicom. Predictions in the chat, please. Let's jump on in. We join Say and Sam for our first quarterfinal of day 1 here in the EU prelims, SWC 2025.
Yo, Famicom. Is being a new player going to be beneficial in this one? Or is Neff going to take it home? Let's find out in our match 1, set 1 between Famicom and Neff. Pre-bans coming in already. Yonhong and the Oliver there, say.
Interesting on the Yonhong. Does Neff even own a Yonhong? I'm not 100% sure about that, but we do see the Oliver being removed. Sierra is one of those most common units that is then picked up. Is Neff still going to go for Finesse? Actually not locking in a speed lead just yet.
Yeah, going in there for that Haegang and the Asher. We've seen how much damage a skill 3 can come out from Asher, and providing some silences and control on the other side of the team. Famicom going in for a little bit more of a speed test then.
Yeah, most of the time you see a Sierra paired with a Jogan, there we have it. Segment is not as common, but you can use the segment to reset something, and therefore the Jogan has a more free chance to not get counted by Haegang. But let's see if that's actually the play. We go for a more, which is actually still a counter on the Jogan because it will pick up that attack bar.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a throwback as well. Marsha coming around now. You know how the immunity comes up on those hits every turn, looking to prevent something from any of the bombs, but Famicom going very much into kind of a meta god right now.
Yeah, absolutely the meta right there. Big question, do you go for a second speed lead paired with that Shio if you so please to lock in its Spio? No, actually goes for Nabelio, something we don't see all too much on the current meta. So we're both sides having one speed lead. Are we going to leave it to just one speed lead, or is Neff going to lock in a final speed lead right here?
Let's find out. It is his last pick. Oh my god, it's your favorite unit, Say, and it's in the very first match, set 1 of the Europe prelims.
Yep, it's definitely one of those units. I actually do give it credit in the current meta, but the big question is, can it actually do enough? Because this is a matchup where I'm not 100% sure if you just ban out that Sierra, if a Chow would do enough. But then again, I could see a world where the Chow is respected. So let's see what these two gentlemen go for the banning.
Exactly, it's the mind games right now. Who are you going to be banning? Who are you thinking your opponent? We see that respect on the Chow being banned out and the Abelio being taken out on the side of Famicom. No real sustain then on the side of Famicom. He needs to get things done within that first turn, most likely. I think we're going to be seeing speed leads as well. I don't know why the guys are taking that long to try and choose their speed lead going in there.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one to maybe not go for speed lead, because speed lead is the only option in here. So let's see who takes that first turn. Most likely goes to a lot of Famicom's units.
Europe prelims, match 1, set 1 between Famicom and Neff. We are here in Sekhmet. Are you going to be able to land? Are you going to go for that Asher?
Yeah, probably goes for the Asher. Does connect fully on the Asher, so does not take any turn. Shiho can actually go for a full stun on that Asher as well, and they can also still put it in the scroll trap. So a lot of denying. Ooh, we hit that 13% check to not activate any stuns on the side of Shiho.
No stuns, but now you can look to try and put it in that scroll trap if you do want to get rid of it completely. But right now, any of this strip is just going to boost the attack bar.
It's going to boost the attack bar. Does actually decide not to go for it. So this is going to be the big question. Does the Marsha? Marsha moves in front of the Sierra. How much damage can we do to this Sierra? Fair bit of damage, but Sierra still takes that turn.
She does. Lands that bomb as well on the Maw right now. Can look to try and detonate, but look how much attack bar Marsha has. She's going to keep doing damage.
Ooh, that's actually a very tanky Sierra, because most Sierras we have seen in these prelims so far are doing like 20k and up damage. This in this case was doing just 16k, but therefore it's taking that long to take it out.
Yeah, right now, she who has that second skill does get the stun on the Maw. The passive wasn't up right now. Maybe now's the opportunity to go for that attack buff?
goes for the attack buff, but that also gives the Masha attack bar. So this is going to be a dangerous scenario where Masha, if it's just one turn away from taking that skill 1, probably not enough damage. Ooh, the slight sliver of health.
Yeah, not right now, and you can look to confirm that kill on the Maw. Defense breaks maybe, but it's only on a Haegang right now.
It's only on a Haegang, so you probably want to save it. Also, ooh, we have the Ashur not being stunned, taking out that Sierra. It is 2 fire damage dealers against the Shio right now, which is definitely not a favorable matchup. But I can see it happen with that stun of that Haegang.
Yep, stun him right there. You can look to put in maybe another reset right now. Resisted against the Marsha though.
Ooh, double resist. Do you send it on the Water Monkey? You have to send it on the Water Monkey. The moment you take the Water Monkey out, does go for double glance. 3rd hit, also glance. 4th hit, no glance on this one, but that's the one you did not really want to see.
No, you're not. You've got that Scroll Trappers again. Maybe you're going to put it onto... Oh, resisted against that Haegang. Why Haegang?
Ooh, Haegang also resisting that thing. So Haegang is going to go for the pushback later on. If he lands this pushback, Masha might be able to outspeed. Yeah, it's actually going to outspeed. You have to push back right now with the skill 3, but because of the pushback on skill 3, you also strip. And because of that, you will still give the turn. Goes for S2 instead, but this should take it out. Still a glancing, but does take it out right there.
Exactly. I think the Asher, who might be moving soon, is still 1 turn away from that skill. Oh, he's got the skill 3.
He got the skill 3, he got the glance, he got all of the damage. Armor break landing early, and we're going into a victory for Neff because the Jogan is not one of those units that can solo.
Wow, Neff taking that first set win. I mean, he's Europe Cup champion from last year for a reason right there, say. You could see how important the Marsha kind of came through for him then. Getting that additional turn, really hurting that Ciara to not be able to do too much. But Monkey was overcome by a beast.
Yeah, it was also definitely a fair bit of resistance on the side of FAMICOM, just simply not landing those skills, and then these units aren't that effective. But on the other side, we also had a fair bit of glances on the Monkey from the wrong element. So in the end, I would say fair match right there, but definitely let's see what we have for the next one on the pre-ban. We actually have a Gianna pre-ban and a Haegang pre-ban. Very well read by Neff right there. That's it is the moment that there's a Haegang pre-ban, you also want to have their Gianna pre-ban.
Exactly. Gianna being taken out right now. First pick going to Neff. Are we going to see... We're going in for Oliver speed lead there with that 33 Famicom. Are you going to go back to your 24 with the Ciara? Oh.
Switching it around, still going for that Shio, but actually taking the Ashur in this case. Good counter to that is always the Josephine. Let's see what we would like to pair with the Josephine. Could go back to the Haegang. No, it's actually going for Yeonhong. Does own a Yeonhong.
Yeah, Yeonhong coming out right there. So we're seeing again a little bit more of a speed chase coming in with that Yeonhong. Famicom now locking in that speed lead with the Ciara and going to the Oki as well. So we are going very meta.
Yeah, this is absolutely very meta on the side of Famicom. Neff is showing very meta as well. Yeonhong is maybe not the most meta thing out there right now, but the big question is, do we once again go for just one speed lead with the chance of it being banned out? If we're going for the speed contest, we're actually still going back to a Ragdoll. It's an interesting style over here because sure, there are a okay amount of crits on your enemy team, but I'm not sure if it's going to be picking up that much AoE crits. And we're going back to the Chao.
Yeah, double Dragon Knights coming out right here. We've seen before from Neff how much damage his Ragdoll can potentially do if it's on a similar build from the previous years. Famicom with that 5th pick right now. Interesting to see what you're going to go for. Oh,
Ooh, goes for the hardest counter into a Ragdoll. Oh, getting in that Tian Lang. Ragdoll is definitely in an interesting position because Ragdoll normally does like to utilize a armor break to actually deal a lot of damage. In this case, it's simply not there. So curious to see if the Ragdoll is going to make it on the field because I think he's not going to do that much. But then the big question is that Tian Lang going to make it on the field?
Yep, he's going to be loving all of that boost up coming out from the side of the attack bars right now. All the time in the world for these guys in terms of 3 seconds to lock them in. Josephine being banned out then, and the Ashur as well from the side of Famicom. Speed leads are going to be available for both of the guys, 24 and 33. This is going into our set number 2 between Famicom and Neff. Let's see if Famicom can mount a comeback from now or if Neff is going to extend his lead into that 2-0 right now.
Yeah, let's see what we have for the first turn. In this case, first turn does go to the Yeonhong, but big question is, Fangblade, even if you strip, is that enough? Because of the TLA, it is not enough.
Not enough right now. She who can go into it there. Are you going to go for the Oliver, try and get a stun coming out?
You have to do it. It is the wrong element, but even wrong element, it's... Ooh, does go for the other unit right there. Do we go for the skill 2? If we go for a skill 2 right now, it's definitely attack bar. Okay, actually goes for the armor break, gets the additional turn right there. Yan Hong is probably not living long on this match.
No, not right now. Defense breakup. Going for the stuns now. Does get it on that ragdoll, but Oliver is going to try and take control of this match if he can. Wow.
Ooh, difficulties right there. Landing the skills. Difficulties once again on the glancing side. Not connecting the skills as well as we have seen on the side of Neff.
Triple stuns coming out from that Okeanos right now as well. He's only going to be trying to, just take things down, chip it at a time now.
Yeah, chipping it at a time, and this is the position where a Ragdoll's not really going to add that much. The attack bar gain is given to the Tianlang. Sure, you still have a little bit. Additional turn on the Chow. Can we get a crit? We get a crit justice, but it is not enough damage. This is a very tanky Sierra.
Yeah, look at that Okeanos putting in that cool time on the Oliver. Knows that it's likely on Violent and could get out. Doesn't this time round. Maybe finish that Chow.
Ooh, not taking out the Chow just yet. This skill 1, is it enough? It's not enough. It's also a very tanky Chow right there. But you still have to do one more skill 1, and Chow is living on this sliver of health.
Yeah, your favorite monster there, say, also glancing on that Ciara right now. It's up for Tianlang. Maybe get some more stuns coming out on that Oliver.
Can we get the stuns on the Oliver? No, but we actually have no skills available on the Oliver, and that is an Oliver position you don't like to be in. And this Okeanos is just doing a lot of rain of stones, doing a lot of damage.
Oh, that might help.
It might help, but it is a little too late. We're gonna see some good damage right here. 57k, that's good numbers, but it is definitely a little too late.
Yeah, I think so right now. I mean, Okeanos Tianlang versus that Ragdoll, and it's going to be secured for Famicom, bringing it back to 1 apiece in this match 1 of our prelims day 1 there. So Famicom went a little bit more back to the meta. We saw that maybe odd double Dragon Knights that came out from Neff in the end.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, the Yan Hong does make sense if you have a unit that can actually follow up. But if you do know that your enemy has a Tianlang, it makes it harder to follow up unless you actually pair it with, let's say, an Okeanos that you can boost up to give a skill to reset right away. But in the case where you go for a Yan Hong and you just follow up with a bit of Bruiser, but also not full on Bruiser, you're committing to all kinds of drafts, but not really to one style. And that's kind of what is important in this meta.
Here we go, pre-bans coming into that. Yan Hong is being taken out from the side of Famicom there. Oliver being matched in the pre-ban as well, taking out a 33 lead from the side of Neff likely. Famicom in this position last time. We had the Ciara. Maybe he's going to do a repeat, but he did lose that first set.
We go for a repeat also on the side of Neff. That assure that Heigang in there. Repeat, but do we go something else? Last time around we went for a Sekhmet and a Jogun. I still really do like the Jogun. Sekhmet is still a little bit of a tricky unit in my opinion.
Yep, how is he going to partner it up? I mean, if you're following the history of that first set, Neff did win it right now. So does Neff just continue? Bring that Marsha back out?
Yeah, Marsha and the Moor are those the 2 victory units that he goes for. Because in the end, the match of last time on the match 1 was still a 50-50 match. It could have swept either way, depending on how the match actually did look like in the end. So, sure, you could have a good first rotation, but is it going to be the same? Is actually stealing the Shiho away. Doesn't have any speed leads just yet.
No, it doesn't have it. Can maybe lock one in that 5th pick. But if you see the answer, wow. Okay, we're going Josephine and we're going Chow right here.
So we're taking units from both sides. It's definitely an interesting style over here. It's also a position where I would say a Misty becomes pretty good, especially if you are planning to ban out that Sierra. But the big question is, are you planning to do that?
And have you prepped it up prior to your match here? Because you're only going to use it if you've ruined it up right now, that 5th pick. Or do you go for that speed lead like you were saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of options. Actually goes for an NFL, so I definitely do expect a Sierra ban right here. And more of a Bruiser kind of style setup. So NFL is a really strong pick into the Josephine, because Josephine mostly is not full on accuracy.
Yeah, let's see who they're going to be banning out right now. Then it's actually going to be the Chow coming out of Respect and the Anavel being taken out. So we are going to have a speed lead on the side of Famicom with that attack lead on the side of Neff. Here it is, our Europe Preliminaries match 1 set 3 between Famicom and Neff. Currently 1 apiece right now.
Yeah, let's see. First turn does go to Sekhmet. Also, the Shiho is not on Will Runes, which is not a good side into a Jogun, because Jogun can decide to remove the Shiho. Keep in mind, Shiho will come back with full attack bar. It's not the same skill as an Irene skill 3. Therefore, actually decides not to go for it, and is just gonna let Shiho take the turn. But if you go for skill 2 right now, you stun, but the only one unit you do not want to stun was stunned right there.
Exactly, and Josephine can come in and put that provoke on right now. Yes, there's only shields that Marsha has to go into, but there's going to be a bomb from Ciara coming soon.
Has a bomb for the Sierra, and it's a little bit low on damage than we expect. That's good damage on that skill 1 right there. But the Sierra bomb will definitely do a fair bit of damage. It's gonna do about 16k. Are you gonna let it explode? Does go for the explode. That's a lot more damage because of that attack buff.
Yeah, we have 24k coming out from that bomb right now. Probably see the Sekhmet fall. Is it now the opportunity to put it in a scroll?
I would definitely say so, because right now you do keep the provoke on the unit. So even if it comes out of the scroll at an unfavorable moment, there's still that provoke. But all eyes right now are on that Sierra and also on the other side, the Marsha. Can those two units deal enough damage to take out the units on the opposing side?
Oh, big. That was the reason for that bomb on that Asher in case of an additional turn. Marsha's really come into play, say.
Marsha's definitely come into play right there, but there's still one big issue. After killing the Sierra, you still have to go through a Josephine. That is not an easy task for Marsha, but I have seen Marsha's do that. Goes for chip damage right there, also getting the stun, really nice. In this case, we don't have any of the skills on this Josephine. Trying to do a little bit of chip damage yourself, but we're taking out this Sierra.
We are right now. Monkey going into that Josephine, not stunning on the skill 1 either, so it's going to prevent Josephine from taking an unnatural turn.
Yep, just a natural turn, no shields as of yet. Also no stun. If we can get... Ooh, we're not going to get anything from here. So the Shio still has all skills available. That's going to be a very strong hit. If you go for that skill 3 right now, probably still has to do it. Does go for it. But this skill 3, where do you connect it? And how much damage are we dealing? We're doing 3.2k per hit. That's so much damage on this Monkey.
Yeah, you've got the option right now. Do you go for that strip on the Monkey, or do you just try and stun the Marsh? Goes for that strip, but obviously, hey gang.
Hey gang is there. The shield is not broken just yet. We have the count, we have the shield. Shield still not broken. If we go for the strip right now, does not connect the strip. Do we go for stuns? Does not connect the stun. Is Josephine against the world in this match?
Yeah, Josephine right now is looking very strong. Marsha doesn't have that skill 2, and she's not going to get a turn.
Oh, she's not taking the turn. The slow is there. Do we connect the stun? Stun is not even needed. Simply takes it out. You do not want to stun right now, and you connect the stun and you get stunned yourself. That is why Josephine is meta. Josephine performed a 3 against 1, and she's winning.
Wow, Famicom taking it 2-1 against Neff right there. Wow, Josephine. I mean, managing to do it against those 3 units. Maybe Neff was... anticipating these units could get through that Josephine a little bit quicker. He wasn't really targeting that unit though at all, say, at the beginning.
Well, it's definitely understandable, because by the elements, this was the easiest route to actually clear something out. In hindsight, you might have said, like, oh, when you had the moment of the Jogan and the Josephine, should you have focused on the Josephine just yet? But the issue is most of the units on the side of Neff were performing any kind of sort of stun. So farming that on a Josephine would get the extra turn, whereas the Jogan would still be stunned.
Let's find out then into this next one. Our pre-bans have come in. We've got a Heigang being taken out, as well as that Ciara. Oliver first pick likely from Neff, and it is confirmed. Famicom in this position last time. We did see an early Ashur.
Early Ashur, but also the Gianna is available right now. So let's see if he actually wants to go for Gianna. It is the most picked LD5 on ladder, but is it also that great in the current RTA meta on the tournaments? We have seen it a lot in other regions, but so far in here, we haven't seen one yet.
No, we've got a Sekhmet coming out instead then. High base speed coming out to play. And wow, double fire. I mean, element versus element. He's looking strong.
Yep, definitely looking strong. But that's also the position where I would rather see a Shiho on the side of Neff than a Yan Hong. Because now the Shiho will definitely go to the side of Famicom. So that's one of those units where, sure, a LD might be very good. But stealing a unit might be more beneficial rather than going for a unit that's favoring your box.
Exactly. Oh, Famicom coming out to play them with a Misty potentially in this one right here. He's only 1 set win away right now, say, from going into the semi-finals.
We're looking on the side of Neff on an Anivil. I wouldn't be surprised if he also once again goes back to the Chow. But so far, Chow, it's either been banned out or it hasn't been performing that well. Getting rid of this Misty is always a difficult job, especially on these players that you see here on the stage. They have incredible good runes and artifacts, and that makes Misty shine.
Yeah, Chow getting locked in then as that 5th pick for Neff right here. If Famicom has also got this 5th pick, how are you looking to play around it if you're already thinking you might respect that ban?
Yeah, might be a respect ban right there. I'm thinking of what unit would do good against everything on the field. And my eyes actually go towards a Diana. A Diana would do really strong against a lot of units, or another wind unit. Layla, also a good option right there to counter the Chow.
Let's see then, pre-bans coming in right now. Are you going to get rid of that Chow? Are you going to get rid of... To be honest, any of the other water units, Annabelle provides a lot for Neff's team.
Yeah, I would say ban towards the NFL. On the other side, maybe you have to respect that Layla, because the Layla is definitely something that can deny a lot on the Chow. But then you also have to deal with that Misty. Misty is going to be hard to kill because, once again, the NFL is the only armor breaker, and I think it's not going to make it to the battlefield.
Yep, Layla being taken out as well as that Annabelle then. So we're going to be going into our fourth set right here between FAMICOM and Neff. Likely speed lead and the HP lead coming out from both of our guys. This could be it for FAMICOM. One more win away, and you're all the way through to those semi-finals already of today.
And let's see, first turn, Yeon Hong in this case. Do we still go for the skill 2? Skill 2 is not a full activation rate, so it can be a little bit tricky. Actually opts to go for the Okeanos, boosting that up, going for a reset on that Bayak, connected on that second hit.
Yeah, got that one, and now Oliver can look to take turn, maybe reset into that Sekhmet as well. Resisted the pushback.
We do at least have the reset right there, so 2 units are reset right now, but now we have the turns going towards Famicom. First we have the Chow for a little bit more chip damage, but how much can we do? Just a 12k. We're not saying goodbye to that segment just yet.
No, we're not, but with no skills this Asher, how much damage can you just be doing on a skill 1? That's going to help.
That is definitely going to help, and that also means that you're a target for Oliver once again, but the Oliver, are you gonna go for a stun on the Oliver right now? Are we gonna provoke the Okeanos or even the Yeon Hong? There's a lot of options right here.
Yeah, he's gone for the provoke, knowing that that Okeanos is going to hit it back with the counter-attack. Misty, how much damage are you already starting to stack soon?
Ooh, that was an early armor break right there. But the only thing is, Oliver does still have skills. So the Bayek did take a few additional turns, but we can still take that out later on the cooldown reset.
Yeah, I think it's all going to be up to Oliver right now for Neff. Obviously, that skill 3 is a little bit further away.
Yep, we can connect the skill right there. Yeon Hong is trying to stay alive, but so is this segment. Additional turn. It's one of those moments you don't really want to send another skill into that segment, but probably you still have to connect your kill. Actually decides against it, goes for damage elsewhere. If you get an additional turn on this one right now, you're gonna get a heal on the segment, and that is why you gotta connect your kills.
Yeah, confirming those kills, because right there, the Asher can take out the Okeanos, and look at the heal back on that segment.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of heal, and where I would say in this matchup, Famicom did feel like the underdog because Neff won it all the way last year. He's playing very well. He has very well-rounded good drafts, which work insanely good, and I don't see a comeback unless this Chow is going to do some miracle work, which is a good start of this.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start, but it's Chow likely to be just against Josephine or even that Misty. Like you were saying, how hard is it going to be to get rid of that unit?
Yeah, I think Misty is the biggest of issues. If it was just the Bayek and it was just the Josephine, I would have seen a world where it was possible. But since we also have more than that in store, it is going to be difficult.
Definitely is. Misty can come in right now. Does get a defense break as well right there.
Gets the defense break, skill 2, does do a fair bit of damage. Can we get the additional turn? Does not get the additional turn. And the Bayek, the Assure, is on a skill 3 rotation right now. That's going to be 12.5k healing, and that's also going to be a dead Chow.
Well done. 2 Famicom, 3-1 against Neff.
If there is a way to make your mark on this competition, it's coming right out the gates like Famicom has and taken out Neff with a 3-1 victory. I mean, fellas, this could have been a story, and it was. It came out as a story here. Famicom has a chance to previously to go on stage, as you mentioned, Summoners War and challenge the pros, but now beating out Neff here, you know, who himself has got multiple accolades. Say what a promising talent this could be.
Yeah, 100% right there. But I think he played the meta very well. And I think this meta is really revolving around getting a lot of matches under your belt. Whereas Neff is more of a player. He likes to do all of his testing on paper and then see how it brings into the match. Whereas I guess in this meta, just getting that many matches in where you really understand the matchup of the Okeanos, the Shiho, the Assure, the Josephine. You've seen a Josephine pretty much kill whole teams. That's just one of those dangerous units that you have to get a fair amount of matches against to actually play well into.
I mean, I probably would say even nerves count into it as well, right? Neff has never been in a position before where he's had to... He's the one. He's the one that they all want to beat for the first time. Previous years, he was coming in as an underdog himself. Now that pressure of he needs to perform against all of these newcomers. And right there, you could see it. Famicom was prepared. He knew what he wanted to do. And we've got a guaranteed new debutant at the Europe Cup.
Yes, we certainly have. Incredible to see here. I mean, dare I talk about monster management for a second as well? Do you think pick and bans was a big factor there as well? Say it seemed that he had a really good control of what was going on there, Famicom.
I would say in the match one, it was definitely quite 50-50 on the pick and ban. I think more of those matches were quite 50-50 on the pick and ban, but especially that second match of Neff where he locked in the Bragdo and the Chow, that's one of those openings that just doesn't really work in the current meta. And FAMICOM played very well around that. Sure, he has a lot of units that we did not see on the field, such as that Gianna, but he made it work so well with just locking in the right units at the right time. And as Sam just mentioned, FAMICOM, GOLEMPICHAGA, and CYBERNINJA never made it to a cup, so it's definitely guaranteed one of those three making it in.
Exactly. Always new faces, but the same place, Adam.
Exactly. Sam, we need to have a book of all the Samisms. I think this is a thing we need to have. We need this in the Summoners War community. This needs to be a thing. In the chat, let us know as well if that's a thing we should definitely invest more time into. FAMICOM, there you can see semi-finals. A 3-1 victory over Neff. Neff, you will see again next weekend, but it's a big mountain to climb to reach the Europe Cup when you are in the lower bracket finals. You'll see that next time around. But congratulations, FAMICOM. The work's not over yet. There's more to do. But now we look ahead to our next matchup already here, the quarterfinals. There's no rest for the wicked. Golempichaga, it's a mouthful, or Golem, we'll refer to as Golem here. You can see another debutant, as mentioned for you fellas, and someone we're looking forward to seeing compete here on the EU prelim, say.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting play right there, because a lot of the SWC players always are looked at for like, oh, this person has this LDs, this person has that LDs, this person has like all of the LDs. GOLEMPICHAGA only has a Cadiz. He's actually playing very well in the current meta, and the current meta is revolving around normal elemental units, and he does that insanely well, looking by the win rate right there. On the other side, we definitely see a little bit more LD focus on the side of CYBERNINJA. Besides the units that you see on the field, which is that Peter and that Nikki, does also own a Tianlang and a Miing. Definitely super strong units in current meta. Sam, what would we say about those?
I mean, like you were saying, yes, sometimes it is about the LDs that you've got, but these ones I think that CYBERNINJA has is complementing that current meta. We've seen the Parter being used before incredibly well, especially by Guts, who's already at the World Finals himself. So if he's got anything runed up similar to that, I think it could be very dangerous for Golem to actually even get through. But you can see there, say, a lot of matches as well. Like, there's over 1,700 matches that he's been playing in a season. You need to do that with the current meta, like you were saying. If you don't understand it yourself, it's really hard to play against somebody who does.
It's incredible. I mean, I actually noticed the exact same thing there, seeing that obviously we're always looking to see games played, seasons and such from our players. When you see they have that amount of experience just going head to head against other players, you kind of think, okay, this particular individual could have just the edge as we go into this next matchup. CYBERNINJA versus Golem. Who will be the victor? It's best of 5, as mentioned before, and joining FAMICOM in that semi-final later on today. We're going to find out now. Over to Sam and Say. Here we go, fellas. Let's go.
It might be brute force versus brute coding. I'm hoping he updated his malware. Okay, that was a bad one, but here we are in our quarterfinals, match 2, set 1 between GOLEMPICHAGA and CYBERNINJA. Pre-bans coming out there say, wow, 2 units that complement each other very well.
I'm still recovering from the pun right there. That was actually insane. But let's look at this match. We got Shio on the side of CYBERNINJA, not locking in any speed leads as of the get-go. You do see that more often in other regions. On the other side, we do see a counter pick by a Oliver and a core pick that we see a lot with that Ashur, also known as the Fire Bayek.
Yep. Oh, first time we're seeing him today as well. The Fire Megumi coming out to play, partnering up with a Misty then. So we are really going full meta right now.
Absolutely, looking at the meta, and Josephine does very much look into that meta as well. But this is the question. Okeanos is one of those meta units that you might pick in a position 4 right here, but it doesn't feel that much fitting. So let's see if we can find anything else. Maybe towards the looks of a Meowang. It is a good counter into the Megami. It is an okay counter into that Misty, but we're actually gonna see a Lamila.
Lamila, the unit of our Europe region as well in this SWC 2025 season. So nice to see, playing a little bit of a role right now, or at least in this draft phase right now. CYBERNINJA bringing out that second speed lead, potentially taking it away. Okay, we're changing things up for a bit more sustain right now.
Yeah, we're going more sustain, more brutes. I think he was thinking about a Ciara Jogan combination, which is definitely pretty strong, but he wants to go more of the sustaining round because he does already have somewhat of an upper hand of just bruisering it out. So let's see if GOLEMPICHAGA can make a very good 5th pick that still makes it difficult on the side of CYBERNINJA, where most of the time where you have your 5 units locked in and the enemy still has 1 unit to lock in, you want to be having a draft where you just simply ban out the 5th and you have a good game. But in this case, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I think both of the pre-bang units would actually be perfect right now in this 5th position as well. We've got the Parten Hergang out, so you're going to have to rely on them more. So bringing in that 2nd speed lead.
Interesting one to go for a 2nd speed lead over here, because sure, you could be banning out their speed lead, but a Shiho without lead should still be outspeeding the units with lead, unless this more is on Swift, and that is one of those random scenarios. But we're still going to have both speed leads on the field, and we actually have 2 on the side of GOLEMPICHAGA.
Yeah, speed leads going in. It is our quarterfinals, match 2, set 1 between GOLEMPICHAGA and CYBERNINJA in the Europe preliminaries. 2 debutants. Let's see what they've got to offer here, say. We're all excited to see.
Yeah, let's see on this. This more is actually on either a fast fire, it looks like a fast fire, or a despair, but we're gonna see it being stunned for that first turn.
Yeah, you've got Josephine with that passive taking a turn now. Are you just gonna going into that Shihu already?
Going into the Shiho, we have to keep in mind that Rakuni is going to do a lot of work, but that is actually not connecting right now. Going for the skill 2 doesn't do enough damage. We first want to go for more damage on the field before we can actually land that.
Yeah, and you've got that skill 3 from the Oliver right now. Are you just going to try and risk it into a Rakuni, or just get into that Fire Megumi?
Yeah, you definitely want to go for the Rakuni, because also just the reset is really nice, but also if you bring it lower on HP, you would get the Rakuni skill 3 not going on the Rakuni itself. But in this case, it would, but we also have a reset on that Shiho.
Yeah, resisted there from the Oliver as well. That's huge for GOLEMPICHAGA.
Yeah, seems to be like 100% resistance, but we also do see a stun landing on that Lamila. Lamila had the opening right there to do a lot of damage, but in this case, we're not going to see that just yet.
No, you've got another option to stun right here. Maybe it's the time to go on Oliver again.
Yep, going for that Oliver. Megumi definitely has a lot of accuracy, so can make that work. Big issue that you have right now, if you hit the Shiho, is it going to be low enough HP bar where the Rakuni cleanses it? Or can you actually go for it? Was resistant in the first place, so we're not going to see that one.
You've got that skill 2 coming there up onto that Shihu. It had been reset, so he's trying to get skills off again. Oh no, it hadn't.
Not just yet. In this case, only landing on the wrong element, which is definitely an interesting interaction right there. Well, it landed on the Josephine, but Josephine gets rid of that very fast. Now the big question is, can Lamila get her skill 2 off? Because the moment she does, that's going to be a lot of damage on this Shiho.
Definitely is. He's going to be able to get rid of that Oliver. Well, actually not.
How much damage is this gonna do? We're looking at 11k HP on that Shiho. I was expecting a little bit more damage, but it is a spread out damage skill that it does the more damage that there's less units on the field.
Yeah, Misty's going to be starting to take over right now. Look at this coming through. Does get a defense break, but that passive is going to allow more to take the turn.
Big question, is this more on Despair or is it Violent? Because it's definitely not looking at the speed check for Swift. So can we get anything? Is on Violent, takes the additional turn. Is this enough to take out the Misty? Because right now there is potentially enough, because the cycling also gave it enough attack bar to take a second turn. Do we go for the stuns? Does not connect the stun right there. Skill 2 should definitely take it out, but maybe you want to split the damage. Can you take it out is the big question. Skill 1 does not take it out, needs the additional turn to take it out. In hindsight, worked out very well, but if he did not get that additional turn, it would have been very dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. And right now, that's not a healthy Shihu, and it's his main output of damage on the side of CYBERNINJA. He needs Rakuni to help, but that's not going to work.
That is not going to work. I definitely saw the vision. I saw the idea. If you did connect that stun right there, it would have been very nice. But in the end, there was just a little bit too much damage on this Violet more, and it's been doing good jobs right there.
Definitely has. Right now, 2 fire units against 3 water units. I think it's pretty much all she wrote. Going to be able to take these down very soon. GOLEMPICHAGA coming out hot then in this set number 1.
Yeah, it was definitely a very close match back and forth, because in the end, there was way more sustain on the side of CYBERNINJA, whereas it was just waiting for GOLEMPICHAGA to get the right moment to get enough damage in, but he took that victory right there.
Wow, GOLEMPICHAGA 1-0 against CYBERNINJA. Remember, both of these players have never been part of an SWC or competitive scene at all in Summoner's War. So let's see if he can continue his momentum, GOLEMPICHAGA now, or if CYBERNINJA is going to start his comeback from right now. We're going to be likely seeing a Pata and a Hergang coming through in that next one. Pre-bans, who are you respecting there?
I would definitely say the pre-bans go towards like things as Oliver, but we also did see it in America's Cup with Zephyr, where he was just pre-banning something that completely did not make sense for the reason of having all units available also in your own draft. Because if you pre-ban the Hergang, for example, you know your enemy will also be picking units that are good when Hergang is not possibly picked. The Moor is very understandable because not everyone has a Moor in his box right now.
Let's see here then. Shiho being taken first by GOLEMPICHAGA. CYBERNINJA again looking to go potentially back to something meta, but changing his mind in this one. How's he going to respond? Wow, okay.
That's a very early Pater right there, but also the hard counter on that Shio with that Josephine right there. It's definitely an option that Golem could go for Diana in slot 4 of slot 5. We haven't seen too much Diana in the other regions just yet, except for the one this morning. There were a lot of Dianas right there, so I would like to see that. But it's more of a 4 and 5 pick. First, we're locking in comfortable units with an Oliver and a Jogan.
Yeah, bringing in that speed lead. You've got the attack buff and some strip coming out from the side of GOLEMPICHAGA. Wow, okay. We've got some heavy bruising coming out.
This is this weird matchup that if you have 100% resistance Bolfric runed up, this is why you want to lock that in. Because every unit on the side of CyberNinja provides any kind of shape or way of buffs. That unit is just going to be hard to CC, but also having full stacks all the time. But then the big question is, do you have something like that? No, actually goes for a complete different route, where we go very much on the style that I like, one of the most for arena offense, going for a hacker plus Lamila. One of the strongest offense in arena out there. But does it actually work on stage in SWC?
Well, let's find out, because also CyberNinja bringing in that Shizuka as well, going to be able to keep up a lot of immunity on the side of CyberNinja. I think from GOLEMPICHAGA, you're just taking out a stripper.
Yeah, you definitely have to take out. I would probably respect that. The hacker actually makes it into the game. That is going to be fairly dangerous, I would say. Big question is, does the Jogan boost enough, or is the boost of the Pater enough? That's going to be the big question, because in the end, your Shio is probably not going to take any turn right now. But then there's the big question, Pater, can you actually get a skill off without being provoked by the Lamila?
Defense lead and accuracy lead being taken by both GOLEMPICHAGA and CyberNinja in our match 2, set number 2 in Europe. Let's see how this one's going to bruise out.
Yeah, this is the weird position where you actually do not want to send your skill 3. You just want to go for skill 1 on any of the immunity units. You could go for skill 3. Yep, does actually go for that right now. I think that you have enough attack power to actually make this work. Does have it. Does actually fully move right here. That's great. Do we have Rakuni with the Nemesis kicking in? Not just yet. It might hit it on this hit. So Rakuni is definitely one that we look at for landing the things. Rakuni did get the turn, but everything else is still provoked.
Yeah, the provoke is important right there. It's not going to allow the power to do any of the cleansing right now.
Oh, no stuns coming in just yet. Stun coming in over there. That's also an unfortunate additional turn. We do not take out the monkey, and the monkey has an option right now to take out that Miying with a lot of setup right there. Does simply take it out.
Yeah, that's a main source of damage as well, I would say, coming out from the side of CyberNinja. Unless that Pat is also built on a lot of crit damage, but how's he going to get through these units?
Yeah, the Pater is one of those units. It definitely does need something along the lines of 19k. That's so much damage. But as I was saying, the Pater does need an armor break to perform a lot of damage, because just sending a skill 2 over there would probably just do 10k or even less. So this match is once again looking very favorable for Golem.
Yeah, he's in the driving seat right now. Does get some stuns, but look how unhealthy Josephine is right there. We only need a few more turns from a monkey, and there's an S3 coming out.
Yep, and we have the Lamila now also scaling on HP on our first skill. We have this hacker landing brandings, adding more damage to the table. And we're just simply waiting for the units to get their skills back online to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Josephine, you're going to have to start doing some provokes. Try and get some stuns out. He's going to need quite a few additional turns.
Well, we have the 2-turn provoke right there, but this damage, also the damage is being locked in on, well, actually going for skill 1, trying to get that stun over there. But things are just simply not working out. There's not enough damage right there. And there we have another skill 2 of the virus locking in. Not as many debuffs as in the first round, but still every debuff adds a little bit more damage, whereas Lamila does a lot of damage herself. Skill 2 will definitely take out 2 units.
Yeah, Lamila, just that animation is so cool to watch here as well, say. But skill 3, Shiho, is going to confirm it for GOLEMPICHAGA. 2 sets up against CyberNinja as a debutant right here. I mean, he's picking these units that are maybe a little bit off meta with that Lamila, but coming to great effect.
I also did really like the hacker over there. If people have noticed, the hacker was actually off-will. So that means one of those units that you do want to give a good violent or a good despair set, but you're expecting it not to use it that much, but you only lock it in when you guaranteed know that you will be outspeeding your opponent. And then you can go for those even flat stats, or you can go for the sets that normally don't make too much sense. Doesn't even have to be a completed set, but just to get enough speed in there to take that first turn that way. So definitely one of those units. If it fits your draft, it's nice to have ruined up and then also find them in matches like this.
Pre-bans have come in then, Parter and that Hey gang as well, so we're going to be taking those units out of selection during this draft right now. Shiho going back and forth between these players with the first pick.
Shio is still absolutely very strong. Last time around, I think we had the Oliver plus a Assure, also known as the Fire Bike. Let's see if we go for a repeat round of that, or we're gonna lock in something else. Nope, we're locking exactly those 2 units.
Yep, coming in. He managed to make him win prior, so why change something if it isn't broken? CyberNinja, what are you going to have to fix, though, right now to even get a point on the board? 2 speed leads.
Double speed lead right there. So also already countering a potential Joe Gunn, which means that CyberNinja might be able to pick up Joe Gunn himself later. That is definitely something that GOLEMPICHAGA has to keep in mind if you want to go for some route of speed contesting. Does actually go for more turn 2 style with a Josephine working on those stunts that all of the 3 units on the side of CyberNinja are now picking up.
Ooh, Sekhmet coming out from the side of GOLEMPICHAGA as well there, doing some sort of speed contest as well. However, CyberNinja has this 4th and 5th pick. We've seen a Layla come out before, but whoa, okay, change it up.
Definitely focusing on more damage. Last time around we had a Raccoon in there, so definitely seeing that the Raccoon, the sustain is not working enough. We're replacing that by a Tianlang. Is a nice pick over here, but in the end it's actually only hard countering a Oliver, so I'm not too sure about this Tianlang pick right now.
Yeah, is it maybe preventing something that he thought might be coming in this 5th pick right here? We're seeing an Annabelle coming out onto the field, providing a lot of resource with all of the skills.
Yeah, that's definitely an option to ban out that Sierra, but I think we also get a respec ban on that Annabelle. Big question is, does a 33 lead Sekhmet outspeed a 28 lead Shiho?
I mean, that's what you have to probably gamble with right here. Are you going to be taking that chance to see if you can make it through? GOLEMPICHAGA in the driving seat right there, as he is 2 sets up against CyberNinja. Speed leads for both of these players coming in. It's our Europe Preliminaries, match 2, set 3 between GOLEMPICHAGA and CyberNinja. Can he make it a 3-0? What a debut that would be.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. First turn does go to that Sekhmet. Sekhmet, do you connect your skills? That's the big question. Does actually fully connect the skills? Megami has something to say about that.
Yep, does get that stun, but it is going to allow Josephine. Are you also going to try and provoke? Gets it on that Okeanos.
So all units move. Okeanos on the additional turn. Are you going to send it right now? If you get the potential stuns. No, actually goes for the reset and double resisted on that skill too.
Wow, Oliver taking in that turn right now. Resisted again, back and forth.
Yeah, there's a lot of resistance going back and forth, but the Tianlang says no. Normally, Tianlang is the inconsistent strip and stunner. Tianlang just stunned everything, whereas everything else that is supposed to be consistent was not landing.
Oh, it's 2 big defense breaks coming out from the side of Sekhmet right there. You're going to be needing Asher to come soon.
We have a glancing for a second. I couldn't see the glancing on the Okeanos, but the glancing on the Okeanos made the Okeanos very much not that consistent. Sierra, are we getting close back to those bombs? Because that is what we need to take out units right now.
Not going to get it this time round. You've got Sekhmet as well. You can look to try and do another reset coming out here. Maybe on that Oki. Going on the Sierra.
Goes for the Sierra. Also good damage, 11k. But we also have the skill 3 of the Bayek. Are you going to send it on the Sierra that was just reset? Or are you planning to take out that Okeanos? If you land an early armor break, I think Okeanos could be taken down. No, actually goes for the Tianlang. Definitely spreading out the damage a lot of over there.
But that additional turn is going to help. Can you finish it off? Gets rid of that Tianlang off the field right there.
Yep, taking out that Tianlang. I don't see too much chance for CyberNinja to come back in this match right now because all of his units are reset. All of his units will probably be continuously reset. So right now, if GOLEMPICHAGA is definitely spreading the damage a fair bit, but is it going to be the way that he takes his victory? He has to keep in mind Oliver after this turn also has 1 turn downtime.
Yeah, and the Sierra there with that attack break coming onto it. You can look to stun, but Josephine's probably got something to say about it.
Josephine got something to say about it, and what she says is goodbye, Sierra.
Goodbye, Sierra, for now, and it's not long until the rest of them are going to be falling right here. GOLEMPICHAGA, very, very clean in his first ever time at an SWC.
Yeah, 100% super clean, because the matches he won also looked all 3 very convincing, and this is once again, I can't see it any other route than that he's gonna win this one. But he played super well. He definitely understands the meta, and that's also what makes him super strong in this current meta. He doesn't have to rely on the LDs, whereas a lot of other people are always like, ooh, this LD fits in there, that LD fits in there. He doesn't have to think about them because he doesn't have them, but it works perfectly for him right here to get himself to the next round.
3-0 GOLEMPICHAGA, baby.
A precious victory for Golem. I had to go there. Sorry, lads. Incredible scenes. A clean sweep there against CYBERNINJA. We mentioned this. Both players are coming into this as debutantes, but such a convincing performance from Golem. I mean, we'll come to him in a second, but CYBERNINJA, what do you take away from this? Obviously, coming into this head-to-head, you don't know where it's going to go. Is it a case of just kind of an uneven matchup in some ways when it comes to kind of monster selection, or is it just a case of there being that different, kind of a chasm of performance or quality when it comes to competing in the EU prelims, Sam?
I would say, in all honesty, it's probably you're facing off against somebody who really has studied and knows the meta right now. He's using the units that have been on balance patches that are working really well. They can work in unison very well. And if you're up against somebody who knows that really well, even if you've got something prepared, it's very hard to deal with, especially in a setting like an SWC Europe Preliminaries. You're going up against pre-bans as well, and the nerves. It's your first time ever in front of people. You might not have done it this weekend, but hey, who loves an underdog? Maybe next weekend it's CYBERNINJA's time.
Working with you both gives. I get nerves, but I think it's butterflies more than anything. That's what I. Sorry, so I had to jump in there because they're fluttering. Go ahead, please.
No worries whatsoever. No, it was also definitely interesting to see where CYBERNINJA at some point was still relying towards his LDs, such as a TLang. Like, TLang is a really strong unit, but he's only really strong in the right setup. And in this case, it's like, okay, this kind of works on ladder, but that's not going to work right here if the enemy knows the meta that's well. And the meta is just really set in stone of which units are super strong and which units counter which. And just adding in something that doesn't really follow that schedule at that moment just mostly doesn't perform that well.
Yeah, you can see with the semi-finals as well locked in for you guys at home. FAMICOM versus GOLEMPICHAGA is coming your way later on today in our semi-finals a little later on here. Our first one locked in. And as we talked about at the top of the show, one of our debutants is absolutely going through, confirmed now for the Europe Cup later on in September. That will definitely be happening later. We'll find out later what that's going to be. We have 2 more quarterfinals coming your way there, as you can see on screen here, yet to be determined who will be in that second matchup in the semi-finals later on today. With some names we certainly recognize in OBABO and PINKROID, but we have the likes of TITOGOFLETTE here as well, another debutant as well. Incredible scenes, so many such young, fresh blood coming into the mix here. But what do we know about Tito, Sam? What are the things that are going to stick out for you?
I think with Tito, so we know him from this year's Summoners War European League. He was a competitor in some form of kind of competitive RTA. He is actually also a streamer, as is OBABO. So a lot of these guys, I think it's very tough to always be playing stuff and keep things hidden. You kind of have to play what is currently there in the meta and maybe throw in some units for just a little bit of content, in all honesty, to make something happen on your stream and people to watch it. But I think with Tito, very strong player. We know he's got Ragdoll. We know he's got some other strong LDs. How is he going to go up against somebody that is definitely a fan favourite?
Absolutely a fan favorite right there, but also plays a little bit of a different style. Is still more focused on that Vanessa rather than an Oliver for that first pick, mainly because of that Zeratul. Also is known for having one of the best, if not the best, Sonya in the world, but it definitely took a fair bit of a hit in that last balance patch. So let's see how OBABO can overcome the balance patch and therefore also take his victory over here. He did also mention one thing on stream. Every time that he made it into the cup, he went straight wins. If he goes to the lower bracket, he cannot actually make it out. So to prevent this curse on himself right there, he has to go for straight victories.
Yeah, OBABO self-jinxing there. I like that. I mean, fair enough. I mean, the thing is, you can see here, the last 2 years, has been a contender in the prelims, hasn't made it through to the Europe Cup like it did back in, was it 2021? I think it was. So 2022. Let's make sure OBABO, third time lucky that it happens. I mean, it will have to start here with a victory over Tito. So let's see exactly how it's going to go down here. Who is going to be your victor here? Chat, let us know. OBABO versus Tito in our best of 5, our third quarterfinal of the day here at SWC EU Prelims 2025. Let's jump on into the action.
Waffles and meatballs sounds like a tasty combination, but will this matchup be just as delicious? Let's find out. TITOGOFLETTE versus OBABO right here. Pre-bans coming out of Gianna and the Joe Gun as well being taken out.
Definitely the AoE strippers going in. OBABO actually taking his time with his first pick, because normally it's very common to see a first pick being instantly locked in. Taking his time is always good. Going for that Oliver. On the other side, we have seen Tito go for a Judia and Brumwell, also known as the Water Twins. Not that much of a meta unit, because it took a little bit of a hit on that attack bar gain on that skill 1, but it's still very strong.
Partnering up with an Ashur as well. We know how much damage he can get through on his skill 3, and just that control from a skill 2 with the silences. Good response against that speed lead from Oliver. We know with OBABO there might be a Xerath popping around soon. We've got Hegang and that Song Zhang Lao.
Yeah, Song Zhang Lao is a very strong unit in current meta because it is actually hard countering the Josephine, because the Josephine cannot take the turn because of the anti-cleanse. But then again, is it going to be enough damage? We do actually see some more Olivers that are often paired with the Song Zhang Lao on crit rate, and therefore the Oliver becomes your damage dealer, which is definitely an interesting take. But I'm not sure if OBABO has that rune right here.
Yeah, we're seeing a response then from Tito, going with that Sekhmet, looking to get some resets going through, and that Ragdoll as well. I mean, there's a couple of AoEs coming out there, but
I don't really expect too many crit AoEs because the Hegang, most likely no crit at all. Song Zhang Lao could be on crit, but Song Zhang Lao doesn't have that much damage by his scaling. It's more of the additional damage artifact scaling than the scaling himself, so I'm not too sure about that Ragdoll. Annabelle is a very strong unit in this whole lineup and this whole meta because it is very good against those units with not too much accuracy.
yeah, we're going to be getting defense breaks, healings through all of those skills, maybe even some sleeps as well. Partnering up with a Xerath right there. Monkey business time in this one.
Yep, that looks like a Xerath ban in my book. And on the other side, if your Xerath is gone, taking out that monkey is going to be fairly difficult. So I do think you have to respect that as well.
Let's see if they are going to respect that, or if they've got something cooked up that they're ready to fight off against TITOGOFLETTE and OBABO here. It's going to be interesting to see in our match 3 set 1. This could be a Europe Cup match already in itself right here. Are we seeing some monkey business, or are we not seeing monkey business? We've got plenty of monkey business coming on here, say, with Sekhmet and the Annabelle being taken out, taking those speed leads going into our match 3 set 1. It's going to be interesting to see if it's actually time for that monkey business.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting because I definitely expected those two bruises to not make it to the match. Banning the NFL is actually very understandable. Banning the Sekhmet does kind of make sense, but in the end, all of your units have pretty low cooldown, so it doesn't matter as much. So let's see what we can do over here with a Hegang taking a first turn. It is probably on low crits, but there's still enough crits to give the turn to this other units.
Yeah, here we get the Water Twin Angels have got the opportunity right now to put up some shield or just try and strip and get some sort of defense break going. Doesn't land it.
Doesn't land it, but takes the additional turn. Normally a unit you don't really like to see on an additional turn, but now you can actually go for Shadow Shot. Does the Shadow Shot connect? Does not get a stun right there, but we do see 2 strong hits going into that monkey right now. But the big question is, we're actually going to go for silence, also taking the additional turn. OBABO not having the luck favored in his position right now.
Definitely not resisted to defense break, but right now, can a monkey with glancing get rid of it?
Doesn't connect it right there. But let's see, Zeratul has to do a lot of work right here. Oliver and Zeratul, all eyes on you guys, because the Song Zhang Lao is not going to be on this battlefield for much longer.
Definitely not, but we're all resisted as well. The pushback right there, but Zeratul can put up his constant immunity right now and just get to work.
Yeah, it can get to work. He's going to be having to take a lot of turns to first take out that bike, then take out the monkey. Still have to keep in mind the Ragdoll's going to be pushing up attack bar. At least what you don't have to care about that much at this moment is that the Judio and Rama don't have any skills. But if this Baya takes a few more turns, we're back at that skill 3, and that's always dangerous. We
definitely are. If he gets an additional turn here, there could be a silence thrown out as well. Not right now. And that monkey, are you just going to keep targeting the damage into the Zeratul?
It's actually saving the skill 2 for a potential moment where he doesn't have glancing. Let's see if OBABO picked that up, or is he gonna just do more damage into the bike? More damage into the bike is always a good choice. Skill 1, is it going to be enough damage? That is not enough damage right there, I think. It could be on the edge, but I think he's gonna survive.
Exactly, but he did get that cool time from Oliver, so he's not going to be able to heal up just yet. Defense breaks landing from the monkey as well.
Yes, Oliver is not going to live that much longer. All eyes are on this Zeratul. Also, all eyes are on this bike. Is that 15%, or is that a little bit above 15%? It was 15.1%.
It is, so he's going to have to use that turn from the Hegang to confirm the kill. Always good. I mean, Zeratul versus the world here.
Zeratul versus the world. So what is the first target? First target is actually going to be taken out very fast with the Zeratul. That is definitely enough right there. Also, the Zeratul will have a permanent immunity right now because there's no strips on the side of TITOGOFLETTE right now. Plus, OBABO still has a Hegang to work for glancings. That helps out a lot to keep your units more healthy.
Exactly. I mean, he's probably going to be going into this monkey right now. You can't allow that moment for a Ragdoll to get a skill 2.
Yeah, he has to go for the monkey right now because the moment that the Ragdoll goes for skill 2, takes out the potential Zeratul, the Heigang will probably clean up from that position. So all eyes are on this Zeratul right now. But we also have monkey business going in. Skill 2, good amount of damage. Zeratul trying to plow his way back up, but the monkey's just simply taking more turns.
Glancing is huge though right there from the Heigang. Isn't going to get the hits, but that's helpful for Tito.
Oh, that's very helpful. And that additional turn with the crit is actually going to take out this Zeratul, and monkey business is prevailing right now.
It is Heigang versus these two units. We've heard of strange things, but maybe not. Maybe take the time to think exactly how you're going to work things around in this set number 2.
Yeah, I definitely do think that he was thinking like, okay, where did it go wrong? Was it just a little bit too many additional turns? Would you run something back like that? Or would you just say it's like, okay, something went wrong in the draft and it was too difficult to take out some of those units?
Yeah, you could see just how crucial it was, that monkey getting those turns, getting that damage going into that Zeratul. Still a super strong unit. Did a lot for the side of OBABO. How are we going to play around it in these pre-bans?
I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to respec ban that Zeratul right there. I'm not sure if OBABO would opt to ban a Ragdoll. I think the Ragdoll was niche to nice in the previous draft, but it wasn't doing an insane amount of work. It was more on the Bayek and on that monkey.
Oliver being pre-banned then, as well as that Zeratul. I think it's doesn't want to have to deal with the 33% speed lead on the side of TITOGOFLETTE here. But with that first pick, how is he going to counter? Getting it early Heigang.
That's a very early Heigang, so OBABO can probably already figure out that your opponent is gonna go for a Heigang Gianna kind of combination. Often that leads into not enough damage, so let's see what he's gonna go for. Actually, we're gonna flip things around. We're gonna go for an Atna, but an Atna this early is always a little bit dangerous because of a Megami potential.
Oh, so changing it out for a different high base speed unit there with that Sekhmet, looking to try and get some cool times put in. But it seems like we're still a little bit of a speed comp.
Yeah, a little bit of a speed comp, but it has a little bit of everything. The only thing that is missing is actual sustain and actual full-on damage. Sure, Chandra can be a fair bit of damage, but is that going to be enough? Is OBABO going to go for a bruiser right now, bruiser route right now with like a Misty, or is that already counted by the Chandra on the slow?
Ooh, Barbara coming out to play them. We're going for some speed.
We're gonna go for some speed, but actually Barbaras in this kind of setups are mostly on violent to do a lot of damage. So let's see if it's going to be that. We still have to take care of that segment, which will probably take the first turn in this lineup. We do also know that this Judo and Bromia is going to be on a violent set rather than Swift.
Yep, and partnering up there with Etna, another high base speed unit, very fast in terms of the side of TITOGOFLETTE right now. OBABO, you've got an option of maybe you need another speed lead coming in.
Well, I think OBABO has a lot of options because if you remove the segment or if you remove the Atna, there's not too much damage on the side of TITOGOFLETTE. So if you have a good unit that can counter all of that, it's going to be an interesting take as well because you only have one speed lead, whereas your enemy has 2 speed leads. So you're most likely going to get outsped if he so pleases to ban out the speed lead.
Let's find out in this one then who is going to be getting banned out. OBABO currently 1 set down against TITOGOFLETTE right here. Needs to mount the comeback right now against him. You can see they're taking a long time on these bans.
Yeah, I would definitely say the Ciara ban looks like the best position right there because then you know for sure that you're gonna outspeed. But is he actually gonna go for that? He's not gonna go for that. So that's always a gamble and a risk because Sonya in the end it is nerfed but still does a good amount of damage because OBABO, as mentioned before, has one of the best Sonyas out there.
Here it is, set number 2 between TITOGOFLETTE and OBABO in our Europe preliminaries. Taking that first turn is going to be the Sekhmet.
Ooh, that's a very fast segment right there. But the big question is, where are you going to connect it? Is it going to go on the Sonya? Is it going to go on the Ciara? There's so many good options.
And where are you going? And do you have enough for a skill 2 right there? Oh!
That is a lot and a lot of damage. Sure, it's not taking it out anymore, but that is a fair bit of damage that you're gonna say goodbye to. Sure, you have a little bit of healing, but as mentioned, that's just a little bit of healing.
Yeah, you've got some attack bar boosts as well, but Sonya can look to clean up that Chandra right here. 1 unit down.
Yeah, this is definitely once again looking very favorable for OBABO. And that's just the main thing. If someone has like one particular unit as one of the best in the game, you just don't want to be playing against that. Also, all of these water units were constantly miscritting, glancing on that Sonya, and the Sonya takes all of that attack bar and just takes more turns that way.
Exactly, and you've got it right now. Yes, there's a lot of debuffs on the side of OBABO, but he does have those 4 units, and how much damage is really going to be coming out from Tito the longer this match goes on?
Yeah, I don't see too much damage potential. I could see a Sekhmet do an okay amount of damage. It looked a little bit squishy in the previous match, so therefore it could be more ruined on damage. But I'm not going to see too much damage over here. Like, just the simple 3Ks, these units can handle that.
Definitely can handle it. Sekhmet right now, are you just going to be going back into that Sonya? Maybe you've got enough damage to take out a unit with a defense break?
Yeah, you have to go for that Sonya right now because the Sonya also, once again, is incredibly tanky. But the Sonya was going for that skill too already. It did have the guard crush right there. So would have been a potential dead unit if that glancing did not matter.
Yeah, getting rid of that Sekhmet off the field right now. Sonya can come to play with some damage and Son's on loud. There is glancing, but still.
There's glancing, but I would definitely send it because that's a double hit on double the stun and double the armor break. Definitely something you want to be sending over there. Also, Despair on that Sierra. So in this position, Obabo is sitting in the driver's seat.
He is. Skill 2 can come in right now if it connects with that hair gang. Doesn't right now, but it's not long until we're maybe getting some more bombs and some big S2s.
Yeah, S2, do you send it just for fun on? Yep, I would have done exactly the same thing. You already won this match. Might as well go for the gamble of just taking out a Sekhmet in style with the wrong element. Did not work out, but what did work out was this draft for Obabo. Very well drafted over here.
Very well done. Brings it back to one set apiece here between TITOGOFLETTE and Obabo. Like you were saying, that Sonya is very dangerous. Didn't fully take out the Chandra, but it was so close.
Yeah, it's one of those units. It still does a good amount of damage. So in that position, the Sonya, if it's that strong, like you also saw how much damage it was actually tanking. It still handled that. It was actually interesting to see that the Sekhmet of TITOGOFLETTE was fast enough to outspeed it. But then again, Obabo did not fully focus into speed. He focused in a very all-round, still super fast Sonya.
Exactly. How is he going to play around it here in this set number 3 right here? Are we going to be seeing a Gianna pre-ban? Even though it didn't actually come out from the side of TITOGOFLETTE in that second set.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see where we had a bunch of Gianna pre-bans thus far, but we haven't seen too many Giannas on the field just yet. So it's definitely one of those units that's always dangerous, that if it's not pre-banned, you have to keep in mind what every unit you lock in is like, ooh, what if a slot 4, slot 5 Gianna comes out? Do I have the potential to actually pre-ban that, or does it really mess with my draft too much? So in this case, just simply banning it is always a good take.
And we see here taking that Oliver speed lead coming out from Obabo. We saw the Water Twin Angels come out at this point for TITOGOFLETTE earlier. Is he going to opt for that or a different speed lead?
Yeah, let's see what he goes for. He definitely goes for the less common speed leads out there, but still the speed leads as in the Chandra, as in the Water Twin Angels. Do we once again pair that with a Fire Bayek, or do we go a slight different route?
Let's see. He's got the last few seconds to decide who he's going to partner it up. We've seen Sekhmet before. Sekhmet's back to play.
It's definitely an early Sekhmet because I would say that Obabo doesn't play Sekhmet himself. So it's one of those units you can wait a little bit longer with in the draft, because in the slot 2, you can still go for steals. Stealing a Shiho, stealing a Ashur, stealing an Okeanos. There's a lot of good steals that you can make right now, whereas Obabo gets like free picks on a bunch of really good units now.
Yeah, we've got the Zeratu coming out there. We saw how much he tried to do in that very first set. TITOGOFLETTE changing it up then. A little bit of sustain coming out with that Raccoon. Are we going to see a Miles?
Interesting to go for sustain right here, because if you go for sustain right there, you're already betting on banning out the Zeratu, because Zeratu is the king of sustaining and bruisering. Finding that with your own Raccoon might be very dangerous. Actually gonna go for a different route, actually switching up a lot of routes, still going back to the Raccoon, but also going for a Layla over here. This is the position where a lot of people like to lock in a Nobara.
Yeah, let's see if she's going to be coming out to play right here. Always scary as a 4th or 5th pick to have to deal with all of those debuffs that might be coming out on the side of the field. Or are you just going to try and get some attack bar boosting?
Definitely an interesting unit right there, but there's a lot of AoE, so I can definitely see it work. But let's see if he's gonna lock that in. It is a really good combination for that Zeratu, but we also have something else that's super strong against debuffs, and that's called a Seimei.
Yeah, Seimei loving those debuffs, just going to eat them up, provide so much health for the rest of the team. Nikki coming out to play there as well. We can get some heal blocks maybe.
Yeah, the heal blocks, I'm pretty sure Nikki is not going to make it into the field because she provides that heal block, but she also provides a lot more healing than a Raccoon would do. And if there's just the healing of the Raccoon and the Zeratu still remains on the field, I think that the Zeratu is going to do enough damage.
Let's hear then. We've got Vertihill and we've got Nikki being banned out. Speed leads for both Obabo and TITOGOFLETTE in our match 3, set 3 of the Europe preliminaries. Who's going to take and extend that lead to a 2-1 right here? Sekhmet not going first this time.
Shiho going first. Do we go for the instant stun? We are not... Oh, the very final hit connected that stun right there. That is what you like to see, but we have Rakuni boosting that back up.
Yeah, very quick Rakuni pushing up that sec meta. Are you going to go for it on the Zeratu already?
I would say the Zeratu, because then you don't have to work that much against the immunity that is providing. But on the other hand, a Zeratu on immunity can never be healed by a Seimei, because Seimei is healing by the debuffs that are on the ally itself rather than on your own. So in this case, all of the debuffs that you do on the Zeratu is going to mean a lot of healing to the Zeratu.
Definitely is, and that Layla's going to be taking a turn now with that skill too. Can she get something going?
Well, I think the only thing she gets going is potential slows, but a lot of healing going to the side of OBABO. Let's see, 2 debuffs. Are we already looking at 10k plus healing?
Let's find out. Oliver needs to take that turn first. Only that skill 1, little bit of chip, and a nice little additional turn from Seimei.
Additional turn from Seimei, not having the highest of value right now, just opting for skill 1. Seimei healed the Zeratu for 14k on just 2 debuffs. We are looking for a lot of those heal blocks, but only 2 heal blocks connected. Whereas we're going to see a full HP back to that Shio in just a second.
Yeah, he is silenced there right for the moment. Can you even get Sun out? You got glancing.
Just glancing out there, it's not going to do too much. Big question is, does the Zeratu take a turn right now and can he cycle into his skills, or is he still reset? I think he's still reset right there, so it's probably not going to take his skills. Ooh, actually the pushback, the additional turns. Might that be the potential where you can take out the Zeratu like this?
Yeah, this is maybe his option to try and see if he can get it done. Oliver, you're going to have to control.
And we have to control, and we have to control a lot. We get the first control over there. This is also a position you could go for a skill 2, but the cooldown was increased on the segment. I'm pretty sure the segment is back to a skill 3. So you have to reset it, otherwise this protection will be stolen.
Let's see if you get it. You do get that cool time as well right there. There is a defense break, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Not gonna be enough. All or nothing on the monkey. All or nothing does actually connect, and we do not have the second skill on the Zeratu just yet. Also did not get any follow-up. If the Zeratu gets one more turn off right now, it can start healing, but it could not use all of those debuffs as the healing just earlier.
Yeah, you're going in for those stuns. Get it on that segment right there. Gets it early as well.
Gets it very early. Big question right now. Can you push back this Rakuni? If you push back the Rakuni, your Zeratu can take a turn. Takes a bit of healing from the debuff, goes into S2 cycling, and would go from there. Does go for the Layla in this case. I'm not too sure if this... Ooh, are we going to see this Zeratu live this?
Does live it right there, say, and now you can push back on those Water Twin Angels as well. Oh, yeah, a good turn there.
A good cycling right there, and we're going to look at the HP bar of this Zeratu. We're healing for a good 8k. We're going to go for the cycle, and we're back to pretty much 40% HP. This is where there's no glancing hit, and we're going to do a lot of damage to the enemy.
Yeah, I think you might still need to put a cool time into that segment just in case, but Shihu's going to be following up very soon as well.
She is going to follow up. Skill 1 should definitely... Ooh, does actually not take it out, but the stun helps a lot. However, we have another rotation of this Rakuni. Do we go back into the segment? Segment will probably have skills by this moment, and you can start stealing some of those immunities.
Yep, going in for himself. Then right there, we've got Layla coming out. Does get a big thing on Oliver.
Ooh, that's a really big despair stun right there. But the big question is all or nothing once again. Do we connect those? We do connect the all in the all or nothing. Zeratu skill 1 is definitely going to be taking out this segment.
Yeah, and look at that healing coming through, back over half health right now. Layla's doing a lot though for the side of TITOGOFLETTE.
Well, Layla's doing a lot, but have you seen what Seimei is doing? Seimei is just being a totem on the field, because at this moment, I'm not sure if the twins have this skill 3 available. I don't think so. We actually push it back, still turn to the twins. No turn to the twins. Turn to the twins once again. But we have 4 debuffs on this Zeratu. Full HP, 20k healing. Like, as if nothing ever happened. Layla? What Layla?
It's almost like Men in Black there. We just, you know, completely wiped everyone's minds. Nothing was happening. It's all fine with the Zeratu.
Yeah, the Zeratu is just... The Zeratu-Seimei combination is doing so much work, and that's definitely one of those dangerous things to play an early Layla into, if you do know that your opponent has a Seimei, but also has the potential, for example, for a Seimei plus a Vert, as in this match, but also the potential for a Seimei plus a Nobara, because if Nobara was on this many debuffs, the whole enemy team would have been very dead already.
Definitely, and Rakuni right now against the world, and TITOGOFLETTE concedes their 2 sets to 1 in the favor of OBABO. I mean, again, just showing how dangerous that Zeratu can be. But like you were saying, Seimei, OP.
Yeah, Same did a lot of work right there. Same in the right draft where your enemy has a lot of debuffs, preferably no heal block. You can do so much work, and therefore the Nikki on the 5th pick for Tito made a lot of sense. The heal block of the segment could have been at the right timing, but if that doesn't work out, it's just simply a very hard matchup. We also have a pre-ban on the segment, which is not necessarily a pre-ban on that unit, but it's a pre-ban on the fastest set of Tito, so he doesn't have to contest on the fastest set.
Exactly, he did lose out to it in that second set. Was it second set or maybe even the first set against that Shihu? So TITOGOFLETTE stealing that 33 speed lead with the Oliver. OBABO with a Vanessa.
Going in with a Vanessa, locking in that 33 lead himself. Still has the potential for outspeeding right now. I'm not sure if Tito has the potential to do more speedy comms outside of that segment. Heigang is already taken. We can still see a potential right now for Tito going for a Gianna in the 5th.
Yep, will he look to do that? OBABO right now has that speed lead, has the high base speed unit as well. There's not really any sustain coming out, but stealing a Layla.
Layla's always a good unit. You could always have the option to go for a Sonya 5th pick. I wouldn't lock it in a slot 4 or slot 3 right now. So more of like all-round units such as the Layla is very good. But then again, Tito, we're actually still going to be locking in that Sonya in potential case where your enemy would go for Nobara, because the Nobara is once again hard count. But we also have a Same on the side of Tito. But then again, this Sonya is going to do a lot more work.
Exactly. We've said it before, say, with a lot of units. If you have the unit yourself and you know that the opponent has it, you know how to deal with it, right? And he's done the exact same response as what OBABO did in the previous draft.
That is definitely very interesting that the players are actually learning from one another within the match itself. But I would say that's 100% ban on that Sonya. Can OBABO make a really good 5th, where the 5th also becomes a must ban? That is going to be the big question. I would say anything that works towards like more pushbacks, where the Same doesn't get the turns in, or anything towards more healing or heal blocks would maybe be an option. But can you lock that in against the other units that are already on the field?
Let's find out. He's got that 5th pick to decide exactly how he's going to combat against that Same if he's letting it through. And Irene, get it off the field for the first place.
Yeah, getting it off the field is actually a very strong strategy, because I would have to say Sonya is pretty much a must ban. Unless you're banning that Vanessa, then maybe the Sonya doesn't have enough speed. But then it's the gamble as well. Is your Oliver gone, and then the Sonya is still very strong.
Wow, we've got Irene being banned out as well as that Verdihill right there. So it's going to be speed leads of 33 for both TITOGOFLETTE and OBABO going into our set number 4. OBABO 2 sets up to 1 against TITOGOFLETTE. Can he look to confirm his place in those semi-finals already, or has Tito got something to say about it?
Big question right now. Sonya, we have seen it do about like 33k damage on a Chandra before. Are we able to take out an Oliver? Oliver is what we go for, is a tank. It is a Sonya tank!
Wow. Tanking through that Sonya right there. It's going to take a lot of damage off the side of OBABO, but Oliver has to deal with this immunity right now.
Yep, Oliver has to deal with the immunity. The only thing you can reset is that Sonya in its own regard, and it's not helping you all too much. Was good for the chance of not getting the cleansing, because you can give it a lot of attack bar while doing that skill too.
Yep, you can. Layla's going to be able to come now. You need some cleanse blocks.
Cleanse box does actually connect on the Bayek. Bayek is not cleansed itself, but we're still looking at a stun for that reason.
Yep, and he's going to be healing with Same on the field. Look at that Ashur.
Sure, but did not manage to land the skill too, so Sonya is not going to be able to take it out. Also does have the protection, but we're looking at a lot of debuffs right there. Bayek, can you survive this stun? Actually, did not get stunned at all on anything.
Yeah, and right now Oliver coming back round, can start to control. Gets the first hit on that Layla. Going again maybe in the monkey.
Do we go for the monkey? We do connect on the monkey, and in this position, Tito, very well played. You do know that your enemy likes this Sonya a lot. Locking in a very early Sonya count that was super well played and well prepared.
Yep, and he's going to get rid of that Sonya for now, but she's coming back with an attack buff. Doesn't have that skill 2 as of yet.
No skill 2, but this can still do a lot of damage. Actually, less damage than expected over there, so let's see if it's going to be enough to take it out, because Sonya is back on that skill 2. The moment that the HP goes down, also the attack goes up, and that might hit the threshold where Sonya can still go for the guard crush.
Let's see if she can get it going. Right now, Layla, are you just going to plow in that damage into the Oliver? Hope you can get rid of it before it takes a turn.
Ooh, there's a glancing and the slow. So if you go for skill 3 right now, it's definitely going to glance. Actually did not connect the glance and did land fully. But also Seimei is once again showing in this matchup. Seimei against Layla is just such a strong matchup.
Yeah, and right now you can even look to provide a little silence potentially onto that Layla or just confirm the kill.
Confirming the kill right there. Did not want to deal with the potential glancing on the skill 1 and not locking in the kill, taking it out. So in this case, we have all eyes on the Bayek, trying to also take out the Shio at a later moment, because that's going to be difficult. But the Shio has a lot less protection because once again, Seimei is on the field.
Yeah, he's going to get rid of this Oliver in this turn. So right now it is going to be Monkey versus Bayek.
Monkey versus Bayek, but Layla has something to say about that. We have a silence landing on this Bayek, so for now, he's not going to take all too much of useful turns. But then again, all of these turns that they're taking is just full on the HP bars.
Yep, you're getting those heals. Skill 3 from this Monkey. He needs to get the stun in on this Bayek.
Can we connect this stun? That's all we're looking for. Is he actually going to go for an all or nothing? Because he would cycle probably enough. He would have cycled if he had 2 stuns, but he only connected the 1 stun. But the 1 stun was the most perfect stun that you were looking for.
Doesn't want to get stunned now. Does get a pushback, and Oliver has skills, eh?
Oliver does have skills right now. Where can we land it? Do we go to the Monkey? We do go for the Monkey. Good damage right there with a 5k hit. We have a revive potential. Does actually go for the revive. That's going to be wasting a little bit more skills from that Bayek. Plus an armor break right there. That's a great setup.
It is a great setup right now. Can he get rid of the damage on the side of TITOGOFLETTE early enough?
Yep, and also we have the Sonya moving next. I'm pretty sure that Sonya on an armor break attack buff, no matter glancing or not, should do enough damage to take this out. Do we actually take it out? Double 14k, critted both of them. One of the 2 crits would have been enough, but we're taking out the Bayek and we're giving the victory to OBABO. Once again, Sonya taking W's.
He has done it. OBABO has confirmed a place in the semi-finals for later on this afternoon. But I tell you what, Tito put up one heck of a fight there. 3-1 to OBABO. However, I mean, Sam, it was very close. I think Tito kind of matched him toe for toe every step of the way there.
Definitely did. You could see that Tito was very prepared. He knew Sonya was the danger on the side of OBABO, had a unit prepared and ready to try and take any of those skill 2 hits that were coming through, which proved really beneficial for him. I think at the end there, the damage dealers went. As soon as they've gone, it's a tough position. You're not going to be able to get through all of those units, plus a revive from a Vanessa as well.
Yeah, and the danger with OBABO Sonya is not just that it's a lot of damage, but it's also the sustain is in there. It's just hard to kill in the first place. So rather than you have a Sonya which is normally like just taken out in 1 or 2 hits, this took you like 4, 5, 6 hits, another revive at the right moment, just simply taking out your units.
Yeah, I think we talk about how how imperative balance is in a setup anyway, and I think that aggressiveness is such an important factor as well as like the attack. You strip the attack away, it becomes a very difficult affair. I gotta say, massive cap. We're already 3 quarterfinals into this 2-day weekend of EU prelims here. I gotta say, all the debutants have put up an incredible fight here as well. So I think it goes to show the caliber of talent coming through the ranks now as well. Yeah, really putting all of our kind of veterans up against it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they should be doing as well. We don't want any of these guys getting too comfortable thinking that they're just going to be able to get through and cruise into a Europe Cup every single year. We've seen that from an example of Neff at the beginning. Even TITOGOFLETTE, he's been around enough, but coming up against a strong opponent like OBABO is very tasty to try and deal with, and especially looking forward to that 4th match as well. SAMBSEPP versus PINKROID. Again, another potential Europe Cup competition right there.
Yeah, it's one of those matches that's just super strong, and SAMBSEPP has been known to play his own kind of playstyle. But if we're talking about understanding the meta, PINKROID is currently sitting in the rank 2 spot on the leaderboard. So if someone's understanding the meta, it has to be PINKROID.
Yeah, there is no time for complacency in this competition. Exactly what we're saying here. And OBABO versus PINKROID is going to be absolutely electric here. If that happens, I mean, SAMSEPP as well. I mean, can we get technically an upset here and see SAMSEPP going through up against OBABO in that semi-final? We're going to find out later on today. But the debutant, let's talk about him first and foremost here. Sam, what can you give our viewers at home? What intel can you bring to the party for us?
Actually, one big insight that I saw between SAMBSEPP and PINKROID is over the past 2 seasons, they've faced off against each other 3 times on the leaderboards, on the ladder. Actually, SAMBSEPP has beaten PINKROID every single time. He's currently 3-0 up in terms of a record. And you can see from his box right here, the LD heaviness, and especially some of the fun ones from that specific season when Velasco was horrendously dangerous, you can see he can use that to his greatest effect. Like we were saying, PINKROID, currently number 2 on the ladder as well. He's no slouch. He's definitely going to be prepared, and to be honest, say he's one of the strongest competitors I think we've ever seen in Summoner's War.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the strongest. Also has, I think, the career that is the longest. But funny enough, most pick unit and Terrace. So he's having fun and still winning a lot. That is what this man does. But he's also so well undrafted. I gave him compliments about that so many times. If there is this one random unit that super hard counters whatever the enemy brings, he's gonna lock in that 100 res Mio in the 5th pick. He's gonna lock in that Kinky. He's gonna think about units that were so many metas ago, but in that one specific match will do incredibly well. And that is what PINKROID does so incredibly well. So I'm definitely curious to see what he's gonna bring to this table. I expect a lot of meta picks, but the 4th and 5th of PINKROID could be anything.
Yeah, you know a player, it means business. We've had to abbreviate their kind of championship wins to fit it all in into that little area we have, because I mean PINKROID, we've championed them hugely over the years. I mean, it's been a consistent. I mean, I think looking at consistent kind of win rate there as well. I think PINKROID, one of the few, if not the only one we've seen thus far in the 60s, in 60 percentages, which is just goes to show, you know, sometimes as well, it doesn't matter how many games you play, but if you can consistently have that win rate, then it puts you in great stead come the competition. You can see here, PINKROID versus SAMBSEPP is up next. Who will it be? Will it be the season champ, or will SAMBSEPP cause an upset and rock the boat? We're going to find that now as we head into this best of 5 to round out our quarterfinals for day 1 of our SWC Europe Preliminaries 2025. Let's jump on in, lads. Let's do this thing.
A double Dutch battle, eh? But who will be skipping through to the semi-finals in this one? PINKROID and SAMBSEPP pre-bans coming out, refusing that Oliver and the Hey Gang from coming out in the picks. Shiho as that first pick as well for PINKROID.
I've seen PINKROID play exactly that on the leaderboard as well, locking in that Shio as most important unit rather than locking in one of the speed leads. And it actually does make a lot of sense, because Shio can be paired with any speed lead and still does very fine. However, any of the speed leads that on the other side, you can also start countering. So we have SAMBSEPP going for a fast-paced kind of style with a Jogun and a Sierra.
Yeah, we've seen an instant response there from PINKROID as well. Like you were saying, any of those speed leads can work with a Shiho. Vanessa adds that 33, even adds a revive later on if you're looking to use it. But apparently we're changing it up for a Fire Megumi and a Josephine.
Yep, hard countering that Jogun right there. Megumi has to be on Will Runes to actually make it work, but I definitely do think he has. On the other side, we're actually going to go for countering the counters with an NFL and a Misty.
Yeah, countering the counters, exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing a Layla even coming out as well, getting some cleanse block going through into that one. How are you going to answer it in that 5th pick, though?
5th pick, what are we looking at? We're looking at a Masha. Interesting one right there. I do expect all of the units on the side of PINKROID to be willed. Otherwise, into the Jogun, it's not that good of a matchup. Let's see if SAMBSEPP has a good reaction to this, because he could go for a strong Sonya. I'm not too much sure if he's a Sonya player, but if you ban out your enemy Megumi and you go for Sonya, you might have a good match. But he also has a Geldnir, and there are a good amount of buffs on your enemy side, but it's not an insane amount. It was actually used very commonly against the Masha meta at some point, so let's see if that still works.
Yeah, wow. First time we're seeing it here in this weekend so far. A Geldnir coming out. Are you just going to respect it and not have to deal with it? Or like you said, do you need to take out a unit that's going to be harder to take out during the line? That Misty calling out, even an Annabelle, we've said how stacked her kit is in terms of all of the different skills, providing something unique going into this. I mean, Ciara being banned out and that Marsha being banned out, so we will have a speed lead on the side of PINKROID. On the side of SAMBSEPP, we're going for a water crit rate lead. Let's get into it. It's our match 4, set 1 between SAMBSEPP and PINKROID here, a previous back-to-back-to-back champion.
Yeah, let's see what we have on this match. Geldnir is actually super hard countered by simply not using your skills AoE, but only focusing the target the moment that Geldnir doesn't have any stacks. I definitely do think PINKROID knows this, so let's see how he plays around with that. But so far, all of the damage that has been dealt is instantly healed back up.
It is, but now it's all gone. Now there's maybe a moment that you can, but you've not really got damage dealers following up right here.
Yeah, let's see where the damage is going to come from. Actually resisted, that is also the main counter that this Josephine, or is countering the Josephine. NFL is most likely on 100 resistance, and therefore is not going to be landing that much on her.
Exactly. It's kind of an odd situation for SAMBSEPP. He kind of does want to proc the passive of Josephine here to get some more stacks.
Yeah, the more stacks will give you right over there. It's also like stealing the immunity, stealing everything, stealing the invisibility. Everything works. The only thing is Misty's sitting on the slow, and Misty with the slow does a lot less damage.
It does, but he's going to be able to go through it eventually because there's limited sustain, if any, on the side of PINKROID.
Yep, stealing some of that attack bar, trying to get armor breaks in there. Does actually connect the stun right there. Once again, AoE slows, and we're not looking at too many buffs on the side of PINKROID right now. So if there's no buffs, Geldnir has nothing to work with.
Yeah, let's find out. If you get an additional turn from an Anavel, though, you have that skill 2 always available. He's going to have to keep it somewhat perma-controlled.
Also, all of the damage that is dealt from SAMBSEPP towards the side of PINKROID cannot be healed because he simply doesn't have any healer on the field. Also, this is a perfect rotation for Jogan. Do you go for removing the Josephine? Actually, does not remove the Josephine. Tries to remove that Layla, trying to get the slows off the field, but did not manage to do so.
No, you can try and get some stuns, like we said earlier. Just going for the strip then here instead. Maybe a stun now.
Oh, it does get the stun over there, but also the healing of the Geldnir is just so hard to deal with because PINKROID has been doing a lot of damage thus far, but it has not really been connected just yet.
Yeah, you can go into that FAMICOM, maybe even steal. That attack gets the... Oh, okay.
It gets that over there. If you do damage right now into the Misty's just simply going to be healing up again, so you really have to spread your damage a lot, whereas the side of PINKROID is getting slowly lower and lower on HP because the Misty is doing a good amount of damage right there.
Yeah, it doesn't get that. You can cleanse up right now. Maybe even go for some defense breaks. It's up to you.
Yeah, I would definitely say defense breaks because, as mentioned before, all of the damage you lock in will never be removed. If you landed a good AoE slow, good AoE armor break, any damage that your Misty would do would be so amplified.
Definitely amplified. And we've got silences popping out. That's what he needs. He can put a skill 3 now if you wanted.
Well, let's see how much we can do. Does actually connect the stun once again. Misty does not have any form of glancing. How much damage are we dealing towards these units right now? Because Misty is hard to kill, but the Misty next to Geldnir, that's really annoying right there.
It's so annoying right here. You can see how unhealthy. There's still that 1 stack right there.
Ooh, it's the 1 stack, but that's a good amount of damage on that armor break, and that's why PINKROID is first picking that unit right there. 1 armor break is all he needed. But then again, not enough additional damage artifacts to actually take out a hit right there.
Yep, and he's going to be able to keep plowing damage in right there into that Anavel, get the cleanse and the heal out of this field.
Yep, the moment that the cleanse and the heal is gone, also all of the damage potential will be gone. Very well played by SAMBSEPP. Very interesting choice. Could have worked in his way, but in the end, that 1 moment of an armor break into the skill 3 of the monkey was too much damage.
Exactly. Perfect timing coming out from PINKROID, but he plays enough matches to know when those perfect timings might be coming.
Yep, and that's what you have to aim for. This monkey's just dealing so much damage with that crit rate, especially on armor breaks. But in this case, there was just a slight bit too little damage. I don't think that the Geldnir at some point, nope, Geldnir being stunned right now is definitely not going to make a comeback.
Nope, we've got Monkey just taking over, hitting his own stuns out. Layla, so useful. We've seen before then, say, Seimei was a good response. We've seen a trial here with that Geldnir to try and maybe also combat with some of the healing coming through. Wasn't quite enough this time, and PINKROID takes the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it was also too many turns taken on the side of PINKROID with that Layla. Because of that, you just had so much cycling, and you could just remove all of those stacks very quickly. But in the end, all of his units were looking very lively until that 1 armor break moment.
Yep, armor breaks just shows how important they can be. We're speaking about some early units. Without that defense break, it's really hard to take out a unit, right? Thinking off the top of my mind, like Apata, I mean, it's not relevant right here, but you need them on the field to be able to secure some good damage.
Yes, and let's see what we have for the pre-bans in this next match. Oliver is going to be potentially on the field unless PINKROID does ban it out, and we also have Heigang not being pre-banned on the side of PINKROID. Big question is also, SAMBSEPP has the first pick right now. Is he going to be stealing a She-Ho right away? They're definitely taking their time with the pre-bans in this moment.
I have a feeling maybe even pre-ban it out. No, we're getting a Tianlang and a Heigang being pre-banned out here, so that first pick could go to a She-Ho for SAMBSEPP.
Yeah, let's see if he goes for the She-Ho first pick, because if he goes for She-Ho first pick, you definitely do know that the Oliver will end up on the side of PINKROID. So the question is, do you go She-Ho or do you go Oliver? He goes for Oliver. Ooh, actually not a She-Ho right away on the side of PINKROID.
No, stealing instead then with that Jogun, with that Ciara. Maybe you're going to try and show SAMBSEPP how it should be played with those units.
Let's see if he can make it work. 100%, I would say Shio in this position is always really good. But then the big question is, what do you like to pair that with? Because if you go Shio right now, you can expect a Heigang or Josephine on the other side.
No Heigang from the pre-ban, so you would only be expecting the Josephine, I guess. But if he partners it up with something like an Okeanos, you can get some cool times in.
Ooh, very fast response from PINKROID. Actually reconsidering his response, going in for an Athena. Also still super strong unit in the current meta. But then again, could be hard counted by a Megami. And he's actually realizing that if he locked in those two units right now, a lot of his draft was hard counted by a Megami.
Yeah, so much knowledge that PINKROID is providing there. You can see his mind almost working through the picks that he was choosing on the screen right there in this draft phase, opting them for that Marsha and the Josephine.
You could still go for the Fire Megami right here, but you have to deal with that Josephine, which could be very annoying. But I think to simply counter the Joe gun, it is one of those things that you probably have to lock in. But let's see if he goes for that. Actually still goes back to a Moor, which he was more comfortable with playing earlier. Definitely not on the style that he used to do it with the Siana and the Neftis, but let's see what he can bring with this.
Yeah, Nashor bringing some more damage. Right there has secured that extra speed lead as well. Wow, PINKROID's just going to eat all of that up with a Shizuka, potentially.
Shizuka, good option right there. Nope, goes actually for the Megami. Also very strong potential right here. I would say that this is one of those super meta matchups that any ban is almost good.
Well, these bans have come through, the Shiho and the Josephine. We've got speed leads for both PINKROID and SAMBSEPP in our match 4 of today, set number 2, SAMBSEPP versus PINKROID. Currently 1-0 up in the favour of PINKROID right here. Can he extend that lead to secure a 2-0?
Let's see what we have. We have the Blossom Paintings. We go for the skills on the side of the Moor. Moor has to go through 2 debuffs to actually get strips and does actually get a Despair Stun, but we have Masha moving next, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Sierra is moving after.
Yeah, let's find out. Does get that stun on the Bayek as well right there. Can put a defense break maybe into that Oliver already.
Defense break into the Oliver, bomb on the other units.
Ooh.
No, we go the other way around. Is that the right place? Ooh, actually, is gonna... Ooh, Skill 1 Despair Stun is insane. I think without that Skill 1 Despair Stun, we would have had a potential SAMBSEPP match going back at it. I think very well, but Okeanos on the stun is just simply not going to make it work.
Yeah, now Marsha has free reign. There's that bomb still on the Asher that's going to go off, so potentially no skill 3 and healing coming out right there.
Yeah, let's see. Ooh, additional turn on the Marsha. Moor, what can you do? Moor also is on Despair, does not get the Despair in response. We're going to say goodbye to the Okeanos, and we do not see an additional turn on the side of that Bayek.
We weren't going to get another stun out from an S1 CR right there on the Bayek, but the Bayek has gone, and realistically you need to dismount that Marsha ASAP.
Yeah, but there's so many things you have to do in this matchup, which I definitely don't think that SAMBSEPP has the potential for coming back from.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle right here, especially with Jogan pushing some back. Bombs coming very soon from Ciara as well. And Marsha has that skill 2 coming, if I'm not wrong.
Marsha just used the skill 2 to take out the final unit, but 1 additional turn and you're very close back to skills once again. Plus, Jogan's Scroll Trap, it's there. So the moment that the other unit, like the Oliver, is saying goodbye, you pretty much have the Ciara with the rotation, but Ciara can right away go for a bomb. Ooh, almost, not just yet, but I don't really see a Moor doing all of the value right here.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for me. He's not getting enough attack bar. She doesn't have it yet. Maybe a stun even?
Stun would have been a potential, but then again, Moor, I don't really see it for the potential. On Island, I could maybe see a slight potential for a solo, but not on this HP.
Yeah, not right now. He's not going to be reclaiming his passive back soon, and you can just try and land the bomb. Does, and PINKROID secures it 2-0 against SAMBSEPP at the moment. SAMBSEPP trying to play against somebody who is just so experienced right here, say some great drafting.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult one to draft against. I did see the vision with the idea of countering the Jogan with the units he was using, but in the end, if your enemy has a slight bit more speed than you do, then he's still taking turns on all of those units and it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, all about the speed tuning. Make sure you've practiced that before you're coming into any of these SWC competitions. Pre-bans coming out, Oliver and a Heigang.
Oliver and the Heigang once again not on the field. Do we go for PINKROID on the side of Shio? Is this his moment where he does like to lock in that Shio, and let's see what he goes from there.
Exactly. He's got no Oliver speed lead to contest with, so do you secure it early? Go in for the Joe gun instead this time.
Interesting, Jogun. Stealing off the Sierra on the side of SAMBSEPP. I like that idea as well, but then again, the best pair for Sierra in current meta is either Gianna or Jogun.
And right now he's partnered with that Shiho. We see an instant response coming out from PINKROID with that Josephine. Is going to play with all of the stuns that might be coming out from the bomb or an S3.
Yeah, let's see what kind of style PINKROID wants to play for, because Jogun wants to give the attack buff to something that's actually hard attack scaling. Josephine is full attack scaling, doesn't have any HP scaling, but it's not that much that it adds in that an insane amount. So let's see what he's going to actually pair that with in his slot 4, slot 5. Because right now it's very much a CC, but it's not adding too much.
Okay, bringing in that Annabelle then right there. Oof, wow. I mean, I saw that so quick, so I have to comment about it. Already just locking in a Sonya when you see those units.
Yeah, that's definitely a very strong Sonya setup right there. But can he make a good 5th where the 5th is also strong enough? Because in this case, SAMBSEPP is thinking all eyes on banning that Sonya. Layla is a good option, but you still have to fear that Tina Lang.
Yeah, you have to fear it because of all that attack bar manipulation as well. That 5th pick is important for PINKROID right now. Going for another Etna high base speed, some more damage.
Is definitely an interesting take right there. I think it is pretty strong, except against the Tia Lang. It's strong against all of the other units. Can SAMBSEPP figure out a unit that is super strong right now? I am actually really liking it. It is a little bit countered by its own Tia Lang, but it will have difficulties for getting any stunts from that Etna and that Josephine, because they're most likely not on 100 accuracy or 85 accuracy, whereas we see 100% resistance Valeska most likely.
Yeah, we're seeing the Valeska coming through. Who are you going to be banning right here?
I definitely do think you have to respect ban the Sonya. On the other side, you might have to respect ban that Valeska. But then again, she was taking a lot faster on her skill 2, getting her skill 2 back with the passive. We're actually gonna see her in, so let's see if she can make it work.
Let's find out. Banning out the speed leads. We've got an attack lead and a speed lead on the side of PINKROID there. It's our match 4, set 3. Is PINKROID going to go 3-0 against SAMBSEPP and go through to the semi-finals already? Or can SAMBSEPP reverse sweep it?
Well, let's see, first turn we go for that Athena. Athena, how much can you do? Also, Jogun on the 28 lead is outspeeding a Shio. That's an interesting fact to know for future matches if we go into that. Do we go for stun on the Tia Lang? We do connect the stun on the Tia Lang. Plus, the Shio is not on Will Runes. Could be scroll trapped. Is actually not scroll trapped. And we have the stun potential right now. You have to land it on this Megami, otherwise you're probably not taking any turns after this.
Exactly. Can you get it going for the Etna instead of Squishy?
Yeah, it's definitely, that's actually, I would argue that it's maybe even a smarter play, because taking out, ooh, that's a risky play, but it did pay off right there. Josephine landing everything on most likely a very high resist unit. But the additional turn, but we don't have full arsenal stack yet, does actually take it out on the 13k.
Wow. Valeska coming in, getting that kill on the Etna right now, and it's going to be uphill. You have to keep them stunned with Josephine.
Yep, can you keep getting them stuns? All or nothing. You have to connect the skill right now. If you stun the 2 units on the side, you're looking very good. Even though that Josephine already had the buff up. Ooh, the additional turn. You can go for some healing.
Yep, and you can get that Valeska with the skill 1 right here. Just get those cool times back down on that skill 2.
Yep, it will take a fair bit of time right now to get the cooldowns back, but I don't see too much damage on the side of PINKROID, and that was like the first 3 units on the side of PINKROID's draft were looking very low on damage. Sure, in a long bruiser match, they can kind of get the damage in, but once again, no healing, no sustain on the side of PINKROID, whereas we do have that on the side of SAMBSEPP.
Yep, and we're getting that attack back from the Josephine. Gets the provoke, can try and get a stun in as well.
It does look like a very high accuracy Josephine on this, because this Josephine is having no issues whatsoever landing on this NFL, but there's just simply too much going on the draft of SAMBSEPP, and I still think he's looking very good over here.
Yeah, opting for the skill 2. Maybe even could have gone for skill 1 to get rid of that Megumi soon.
Yep, I think the Megami taking that down is probably better. Did not actually get any armor breaks right there. Spreading the damage a little bit, but doing a good amount of damage on this Shiho.
Yep, and right now you're going to have to deal with a fully HP'd Valeska right here, coming very soon with a big hit.
Yep, Valeska simply just going to do a lot of damage anytime she would get her skill 2, the Arsenal Sacrifice up. But we're still 2 turns away from that, but I would like to see a final hit on that with just 1 unit on the field.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're all here to see it right now. You can look to try and get some stuns, but that Megumi's not going down.
Megumi is not going down, but it is being stunned right now. We're definitely extending this match by a little bit. I think that SAMBSEPP is asking for the same thing. He just wants to get that 1 skill off PINKROID, please do not leave this match. Are we gonna see the full damage? Yep, we are gonna. No, we just leave the match and we're not gonna see the full damage. Also, there was a shield. Very well played by SAMBSEPP.
Taking one set back is the reverse sweep on here for SAMBSEPP against PINKROID in our match number 4. I think it just shows there, say, if that moment happens with a Velasca, how deadly it can be. You can't bring any squishiness into a fight against her.
Yeah, and also very well played. I did not see the option at first base for killing the Atna right away, but you have the additional damage artifacts. It's so much easier to take out than any of the other units on the field. The moment the Atna was taken out, there was no damage. We have a double ban with a double Jogun ban. Haven't seen too many of those, especially on a unit such as Jogun.
Usually, I think both players are going to be laughing behind their screens right now, seeing that they've both banned out that Jogun. With SAMBSEPP, that first pick, are we going to go back to the Oliver? Does secure that 33% speed lead.
On the side, we do secure once again that Xiao looking very strong in current meta, paired up with an Ashur.
Ashur coming out, Heigang as a response there. Obviously doesn't want any of the strips coming out against him, but we know now that there's a pocket pick of Tianlang and a Velasca if PINKROID chooses any of those attack bar boosters.
Well, that's definitely an option, but don't forget, PINKROID also does have a Tianlang, so if SAMBSEPP goes for too many attack bar boosters, he already gives 2 on the field right now. If he locks in more, definitely has to think about his time. That's technically a third, so Tianlang is an option for PINKROID on the field as well.
Instead, he decides to secure a 33% speed lead with that Vanessa. Are we also maybe going to be seeing some Sonya traps coming out on the side of SAMBSEPP?
Ooh, would be an interesting ride here, but I would say PINKROID is not that well known for being a Sonya player, so I would be more surprised if this Oliver is a Sonya trap. So let's see what he's gonna lock in his slot 4 and slot 5. A counter to Sonya, a counter to Sonya in the end is Velasca, so he is gonna run it back to that Velasca.
Yeah, it's so scary as a unit to be seeing it out there, partnering it up with a Devaraja as well.
Very strong picks over here, but you have to be afraid of that monkey. The moment that the monkey does have the invisibility, it is hard to deal with. So we also have 1 speed lead apiece on the field right now. It's going to be the gamble ban of, are those speed leads going to make it into the field, or are we just taking out any of the fast units?
Let's see, we've got that 5th pick. Maybe he can lock in his own speed lead as well on here right now. But instead, Shizuka maybe wants to bring up that invincibility on the whole field if the monkey goes through.
Invisibility on the whole field looks like a very strong thing that PINKROID can do right now. So therefore, I do think that SAMBSEPP has to be respecting that Shizuka pick over there. But on the other side, Heigang is not on the field neither.
33% speed leads for both PINKROID and SAMBSEPP. Is it the start of a crazy reverse sweep in our quarterfinals match number 4 between SAMBSEPP and PINKROID? Let's find out. If Velasca gets online, we want to see some more crazy damage, sir.
Yeah, but we also have the Devaraja. I don't think you're going to be taking out the Devaraja. If you were to take out the Oliver Devaraja, ooh, more damage than expected, because the Devaraja was not looking that fast, it seems.
Nope, wasn't looking that fast. You've got Monkey, all skills going. That skill 3 does manage to confirm the kill, but Velasquez taking a turn early.
Velasca taking a turn early. How much damage are we looking at? We're looking at a lot of HP taken down from this Sonya already. Big question is, do you want to chip it down to do enough damage? Ooh.
You can't. The Ashur's going to be able to heal at least their 7k and some good damage in the Okeanos.
That is a lot of damage. Yeah, the moment that Ashur starts with an armor break, it's always like a rain of so much damage. Big question right now, where do you want to go for the resets? Does go for a reset on the Reviver. Therefore, he wants to take out this damage with Rain of Stuns. Can we actually connect all stuns? We do connect all of the stuns, but did not absorb enough attack bar for the Okeanos to take another turn.
Oh, big stun, but big turn as well. Oh.
Big turn, not enough damage, not taking out this unit right here. If he took it out at that position, would have been very nice. But let's see if we can do it at a later moment. Also, the revive is coming back, plus we have stun potential. We have the egos coming in, not activating any stun. It was not even the resistance, it was just not activated. If you kill a unit right now, you give the attack bar to your Velasca. You can go for a reset, but I think you have to kill the unit. Goes for a reset, actually.
Yeah, it goes for the reset right now. Still has that skill 1 securing the kill. Gets another skill 2 coming.
Gets the skill 2. How much damage are we looking at? Too bad that there is protection on the side of the Shiho. We're taking out 1 unit. We're taking out 2 units. Velasca, are you actually going to be able to do it? We have all or nothing. No all or nothing going in. We have resets. Do we reset? We do not get the attack bar. Can we attack bar absorb over here? We can actually attack bar absorb, but we're still 1 turn away from our actual skill.
Yeah, you need to, oh, that's going to help. You need to get rid of that Velasquez right now. Can you even stun it as well? Oh!
Ooh, can't stun it, but the big question is right now, you have to reset the monkey, but if you don't reset the Bayek, you're in a bad shape as well. We get the S2, full damage, Arsenal sacrifice, 55k, take out that monkey.
Wow. SAMBSEPP bringing it back to 2 apiece right there against PINKROID. Oh my god, Velasquez might be my new crush.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane on that Velasquez. And keep in mind, she is nerfed. Otherwise, she would have had their skill 2 back faster. Because I'm not exactly sure what the nerf was, but I think it was something along the lines of, like, if she makes a kill, she had lower cooldown on the S2. Imagine with all of the kills she made, she would have had so many more S2s in, but it worked out so well, so much damage coming in right there. Pre-ban on it.
Yeah, you have to respect it. Eh?
Yes. Yeah, that's what we call, Evan loves to call it, our colleague from the US loves to call it trauma pre-banning. That's one right there.
Yeah, get rid of Velasquez off the field. I do not want to see that if my name is PINKROID, and you're not going to see it in this match. So all things with it even right now, you win this one set, and you're into those semi-finals. I mean, you're going to be taking a lot of momentum with you.
Yeah, let's see what we have over here. Early Hey-Gang pick on the side of PINKROID can always be dangerous if you first pick Hey-Gang, that you end up with a team without any buffs after your turn 1. If you do that, Hey-Gang first pick is going to become very useless. So let's see if SAMBSEPP can make a draft to utilize that fact.
Yeah, we're seeing a Ciara coming out, trying to try and get some bombs off there. We've seen before, is it a Jogung angle?
I definitely would say that Jogung has options out there, but we're already going into a Bruiser matchup. Maybe a little bit too early for a Bucci matchup, but it is good into a Hey-Gang first pick.
Let's find out then. Asher being taken away and the Monkey. So some similar units that we've been seeing constantly through our Europe preliminaries so far.
That's why we also see more common units out there with the Josephine. You have to keep in mind, Sonya is going to be available for PINKROID. You can still lock in a Vanessa plus a Sonya in his 4 and 5. So Josephine is a good pick, but you have to think about those units for the potential pick on your opponent.
Yep, exactly. This 4th pick is crucial. There's 2 going out on the side of PINKROID in the next 5 seconds. Who are you going to partner it with? You haven't got a Velasquez anymore, but you do have a Misty.
Oh, Misty and 2 very fast lock-ins, or at least hovers from PINKROID. Liking those units on that side. However, the slow on the Twin Angels makes sense, but the stuns that the Twin Angels normally provide are going to be difficult. So let's see if he's actually going to lock in this. He does lock it in. Is this a potential where SAMBSEPP would go for his own Sonya?
I mean, I think anyway, this 5th pick is probably going to be a ban, right?
Yeah, it has to be looking at the 5th pick ban. So let's see if it can make a good one that it's a guaranteed ban. But then also you can take all of your time to think about the ban on the other side. Which one of probably slot 4 and slot 5 is SAMBSEPP going to be banning? Does actually lock in that Sonya? Let's see what we have on the ban.
Yeah, banning out that Sonya. How are you going to deal with everything else on the side of the field from PINKROID? Are you going to get rid of some slows?
Yeah, you have to get rid of some slows, but there's actually 2 on the field. And I would say fearing the Layla a little bit more. But then again, you have a lot of immunity going on the side of the Wind Twin Angels, which makes Ciara a lot harder to use.
Definitely does right here. Again, crucial. This is the deciding set between SAMBSEPP and PINKROID. Whoever wins is going to go through to the semi-finals. Hey-Gang being banned out as well as the Sonya. So we've got a defense lead and a speed lead. It has all come down to this in our quarterfinals. Who is going to take that victory through to the semi-final? SAMBSEPP or PINKROID?
This is going to be a very difficult one. I was not really expecting a Hey-Gang ban over there. Sure, the Hey-Gang would have been good in combination with the Twin Angels, but I think a ban on the Twin Angels would have been stronger.
Oh, doesn't get any of the stuns, but there's immunity all on the side of PINKROID right now. Annabelle in an odd position.
Odd position, actually opting not to go for heal. Also, the Josephine is not faster than the Ciara. You would have absolutely loved to see that in the other way around, because then Ciara could have potentially taken out the Shia or any other unit.
Yeah, you've got Misty coming in. Can you get a defense break? Not quite yet.
No defense break. It's looking kind of dire on the side of SAMBSEPP right now, because he had all of his skills, all of the rotations out there. Now it's the turn of PINKROID. How many debuffs, stuns, everything can you land?
Exactly. This is your moment. Get everything going now. Don't allow SAMBSEPP to take another turn. If SAMBSEPP can...
Ooh, we have the stun being removed. Does he go for any skills? No skills as of yet. Doesn't want to do the cycling just yet. Annabelle, you are looking at very low HP, or at least your allies are looking at very low HP. Can you do something about that?
Skill 3 can come in right now. Go on that Ciara. Get rid of some of the damage coming out from the bombs, potentially.
Yep, Ciara, very early armor break. Shield almost did not matter, simply just slicing through it.
Yeah, and look at all of these debuffs right now. Cleanse block, silences, everything going on the side of SAMBSEPP.
Yep, this is going to be a very difficult matchup. The moment that you have slow and stun and 0 attack bar, it's going to take a very long time before you're playing this game again.
Yeah, Shihu coming in with more damage. You can even maybe confirm with a Bayek.
Ooh, it's Shio against the world, but Shio against the world with a slow is not a Shio roll that you like. But we have skill 2 over here. However, there's still cleanse blocks.
Yeah, at the moment, those cleanse blocks are so crucial from a Layla coming out right there. Just keep providing her with some attack bar, eh?
Yep, it's definitely one of those hard things to deal for a Misty. So if you're facing a lot of Misties, that is one of those units you should be looking at. But we have a good rotation. Josephine does not activate the stun.
Yeah, can you get that silence? Not there. Onto the Annabelle right now. She would have a skill 3 available.
Ooh, that crit might make it where you have a simple skill 1. Take it out right now. Simple skill 1 does not take it out. Skill 3 is available. Do you get armor breaks? Does glance every single hit in this game.
Yeah, and right there, Bayek is still hanging on by a slither of health, and he's going to be able to maybe take a turn.
It's gonna take a turn. Josephine does. Ooh, the Misty is fast enough already. Wait, do we have the Misty potential? Clearing out everything? It's still so difficult to actually get turns in because of those slows, but this is already looking a lot better.
Yeah, it definitely is. You need Shihu to do some good damage into this Misty. It's not quite enough yet, but it should be soon.
It is a good amount of damage, but can you return these slows? Can you do a lot of damage? No slow activated. A little bit of chip damage right there. But Josephine has to keep up with those shields, but we're not seeing a shield for a long time because she's just being stunned.
Yeah, Josephine. We've seen it before in 1v3, but with no passive right now, it's all to play for, and PINKROID confirms it. 3-2 victory against SAMBSEPP.
He's done it. I mean, we're surprised that PINKROID made it last as long as it did with a 3-2 there, but you know, take a bow, Sam B, who did an unbelievable display there from a debutant there, Sam, who was just, you know, really put PINKROID, pushed him right to the wall and said, I'm here to stay, I'm here to make my mark. And he did it. He was so close.
Exactly. I mean, one unit, that Velasca, so scary. You just saw how much damage it managed to provide for him, as well as taking those crucial extra turns, building it on Violent, getting those extra damage parts in, and also, to be honest, against some pretty squishy units. So it was making it a lot easier against the Netner, against the Sonya. SAMBSEPP can take a real amount of confidence into at least next weekend. But that next matchup in the semi-finals, OBABO versus PINKROID already. What?
Yeah, that's going to be a super interesting one because OBABO PINKROID, I think, has never happened on an SWC stage. We have seen it before in the summerswar European League, so definitely let's see if we have a repeat over there, because I think over there PINKROID mostly had the upper hand. But once again, I want to give a lot of credit to SAMBSEPP. He played very well. Like that match 3, that match 4, everyone was on the edge of a seat. Very, very well played, and it still shows Velasquez here to stay.
Yeah, and Sam, you said Velasca was your crush. I thought I was your new crush. Unbelievable. I cannot believe this happened. It's just unreal. I'm devastated. We see here our day 1 bracket of our Europe preliminaries here, SWC's 2025 EU prelims. We can see that semi-finals, FAMICOM versus Golem coming your way next up. We see OBABO versus PINKROID. Oh, it's so sweet. Just to say it is exciting. We have ourselves, you know, our players who did not qualify today. Neff, CYBERNINJA, Tito, Sam B. Not to worry, we will see them again next weekend in those lower brackets. They are not out of the competition yet, but it is definitely a tough thing to qualify that way. But semi-finals, exciting. We've got 2 big BO5s coming up here. The tale of two newbies, the tale of 2 veterans as well here, say.
Yep, I'm very curious to see how it's gonna go, because there's a lot of options to play for, but also for you guys, there's a lot of options for you checking out this channel and just checking out all of the streams always, because we have something very delightful for you, which is on the screen right over there. And I'm not gonna pronounce the French, I'm gonna let it do to my co-casts because I trust you guys a lot more with that than myself.
If we're getting really technical here, we go 20 pour le SWC 25 or 20 pour le SWC 25. That's 20 pour les SWC 25. That is your coupon code. Make sure to utilize that. The 200,000 mana, the energy there as well, the SWC emblems. I mean, you can see there's an expiration there, Sam, but I have no doubt that our viewers at home are going to jump straight on that and make sure they add it to their game.
I think now I can confirm my crush has come back hearing you speak French to me.
I think, hey, it's a romantic language, and I mind if a scale of 1 to 10 on how good that was. I'll take a 3. I think a 3 out of 10. I think that was, and I appreciate you for saying that. But it is there. The coupons there, of course. But there's lots more to get excited about here as well. Of course, those 2 best of 5s. I mean, quickly, players, what they're going to take away from this, say, from that kind of like the quarterfinals. Obviously, everyone watching, I'm sure, tomorrow, as well as those playing today. What's the takeaway?
I would definitely say playing the meta really does show strength, and keep doing that, but also knowing what counters the meta at the right moment.
Good point. Good point. Well made.
I agree with him, by the way, Adam. 100%.
Of course, Sam. Yeah.
Play the meta.
Play the meta. We have those semi-finals coming your way after a short break here. Here are some highlights of what's happened so far today on SWC's EU Prelims Day 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you back here. Welcome back into the Summoners War World Arena Championship 2025 Europe Preliminaries. It's great to have you back with us. It's me, Adam, here with Say and Sam. And we've done our qualifiers, our quarterfinals at least, anyway, for the first 4 of day 1 already. I mean, semi-finals is coming your way very shortly. Before then, though, have a look at some of this. On screen, you see... Every single year we're going, have a look. There's a gazillion screenshots. 20 pour le SWC2025. As I mentioned earlier on, my French there. The lads were very complimentary. 20 pour le SWC25. That is your code. Do make sure that you get that downloaded, you get it sorted out, you get it into your game, so you can make sure to reap the benefits of a fantastic coupon. I think for us to say to you, thank you so much for being here, enjoying this with us as we do every single season here. Let's remind ourselves exactly what's happening in our bracket right now on day 1 of our EU prelims. You can see quarterfinals done and dusted. Before we go into the semi-finals, we'll break those down in a second here. Sam, I'll start with you here, buddy. Any kind of real upsets you're very surprised about?
I think the biggest upset out here is obviously Nef. Last year's Europe Cup champion, managed to get 3rd place in the World Finals, being taken out by FAMICOM, a brand new debutant. It's probably the biggest one in terms of an upset. It's not everything's over for Nef right now. He's still got next weekend where he can try and get through on the Saturday, but definitely the biggest upset we've seen so far.
Yep, 100% agree on that one. But it's also interesting to see. We have a little bit of everything, whereas a lot in cups, we see like a lot of 3-0s or a lot of 3-1s or a lot of them go all the way best of 5. We got every kind of flavor around here thus far. So we already hit all of those chat boxes. But first of all, the match that's coming up first, FAMICOM against GOLEMPICHAGA. We have seen GOLEMPICHAGA play very well in current meta, and it's all about playing that meta. FAMICOM, however, is playing the meta very well as well, but has more LDs. So it's going to be the big question. Once again, what wins? More LDs or understanding that meta?
Yeah, the meta is a huge factor, of course. And I think, interestingly, you're right. We've got a real kind of a smattering of different scores there. I think other seasons we've had, different EU prelims, there seems to be a lot more 3-0s. There's really been everyone's been put to the test here. Golem being the only one who managed to have a 3-0 clean sweep in their matchup. Sam, for the newbies who are kind of coming into this competition, from a preparation standpoint, what do you think was the main thing they were focusing on? That meta that you've talked about already, or do you think there was other factors they kind of looked at in terms of experience, who they're playing against, like with VOD reviewing of previous matchups? So where do you think their focus really was at?
I mean, in all honesty, they've got nothing to base it off, right? It's their very first time being here. They've never had to deal with the nerves and the situation of everything. Probably stick to what you know, what's been working best for you. And especially with GOLEMPICHAGA, you could see that he did get a 3-0. He knew that meta. FAMICOM, on the other hand, though, managed to take out a previous Europe Cup champion already. So I don't even know if he was prepared for the following match, in all honesty, say.
Yeah, it could very well be that they're not preparing for a second match, just really focusing on that first match, because that's always the easiest thing to do. First match is guaranteed you're playing against that opponent. Second match, you're kind of 50-50 preparing, so you're never as much prepared against your second opponent. However, that might be a beneficial factor for FAMICOM, because FAMICOM was just preparing against the meta, while GOLEMPICHAGA is all about the meta. However, the other way around, GOLEMPICHAGA might have been looking more towards Nef, because he was expecting to face Nef, then he was expecting to face FAMICOM.
Good point. I always respect as well the fact that we saw FAMICOM there, shoulders back, relaxed, alpha pose, dominant. We'll see what happens here against Golem, who are also very laid back here. But also, I think as well, looking at FAMICOM's kind of win rate, we saw like a plus 60 win rate there as well. Only I think PINKROID had that as well. But Golem as well, GOLEMPICHAGA, we saw real great start to the competition here, Sam. And definitely I think this first match, we can all agree, it could go either way, but it's going to be really interesting to see what cooks.
Yeah, 100%. In all honesty, I'm just excited for this matchup as a whole, because it means we're going to have a new face that we're going to be able to see live in person at a Europe Cup. And it's always nice to see that the community is extending. You've got players that are popping up. They can still make it into the top level of RTA, even if they haven't been around before. So it's always interesting to see. And this matchup, I mean, would I have said it was going to happen at the start of the day? Probably not, but it is, and we're here for it.
I love that as well. You meet new people, new friends. Get to meet in person. Yeah, you're right. That it's really great. And obviously, we have the Europe Cup, they're potentially Worlds. There's loads of things to look forward to in terms of in-person events and such. But for now, it's all about getting there, getting a place in the Europe Cup. To start things out is what you need to do. Who will get the first place in this year's Europe Cup? Will it be GOLEMPICHAGA? Will it be FAMICOM? In the chat, let us know. For now, then we go to another BO5. Who is going to be the victor? Victor. Sam and Say have all the good stuff for us. The casting pair extraordinaire. Let's go, boys.
From the dungeons to the main stage, a new precious family of players will be at the Europe Cup. Is it GOLEMPICHAGA or is it FAMICOM? Who's going to guarantee their spot? Pre-bans, Anavel, Shiho. We're going back to meta in the draft itself, though, Say.
Yep, definitely a lot of units being locked in very fast on both sides. FAMICOM, once again, going back to that segment. It's not the one that is most meta out there, but the most meta unit out there that's speed contesting is the Chiao, and is currently being banned out.
While partnering up with an Asho, we've seen how much damage that unit can get going through, especially against a Ciara and a Jogun right there. If it manages to actually take a turn, is GOLEMPICHAGA going to continue with some more speed? Okeanos signifies that.
We're going in for a lot of damage, and we have seen that Lamilla do very well for GOLEMPICHAGA. So not the Valeska that we saw from SAMBSEPP, but once again going for that Lamilla. Let's see what he does like to pair with that later on. FAMICOM has to keep in mind that there might be something along the lines of a fire hacker coming in later. So do you go against units? Ooh, first time we have seen a Mile thus far today.
Yeah, Miles coming in. We know how much damage he can get through, and in all honesty, there's no prevention of the stuns out on the side of GOLEMPICHAGA right now, and partnering up with another speed lead in Chandra.
So a lot of damage on the side of FAMICOM, mainly sitting in that Miles and sitting in that Bayek. But the other units not providing as much, most likely. So let's see if GOLEMPICHAGA also likes to lock in a second speed lead of his own. Whereas the Megami in this position looks very off. So all of the speed leads that are potential are actually not really having a good position for GOLEMPICHAGA right now. So he probably is looking for something else that fits, but I can't really think of something else. Well, when in doubt, we just lock in a Chow. But so far, we haven't seen too many Chow Ws just yet.
No, that's why you couldn't think of it, sir. It was because it was the Chow unit that could have been picked, and you just didn't want to think about it, right?
Well, a Chow into an Oliver is not that great. A Chow into a Chandra with slows is not that great. So I don't think that this is the most dominant matchup for a Chow where he could be really good. So he's also making it into the match because of that reason. So let's see if the Chow is going to do enough.
Two wind speed leads are being taken out right there, Oliver and the Ciara, meaning we maybe get another speed lead with that Chandra, and the defense water lead coming out from a Chow right there in our Europe Preliminaries semi-finals set 1 between FAMICOM and GOLEMPICHAGA, the debutant match. Who is going to take the victory?
Well, first we're going to have a lot of turns going towards FAMICOM because of having that speed lead. Also, not too much speed on any of those units, but we are resisting skills. That also does mean that segment has to go for the skill 3 on that Jogun. Do we go for it? No, we actually switch it around. We don't want Okeanos doing any Rain of Stones, but that does mean that we're going to get AoE provoked, most likely by this Lamilla.
Yeah, how many provokes can she land right here? Such cool animation. Gets all 4 provokes and the second turn.
Gets the second turn, but is this the moment where you still want to wait on your skill 2 because it's not fully stacked on the 100% damage output that you can go for? Therefore, decides not to go for it.
Yeah, and you're getting a round of turns. Chandra, that's going to be helpful. You can put a defend right now. Are you maybe going to go on a Bayek or try and save that segment?
Well, you can go on the bike right now, and you're gonna have the weird rotation where a Chow on the skill 2 is gonna go through that defend. However, there is attack buff, there is branding, but if there was an armor break, he would have probably taken it out. On an attack buff branding, I don't think he can do enough damage.
Oh, so he's going into the Chandra and doing some good damage right there.
Oh, we're looking for that bike taking the skill any turn soon. The slow was returned, but still the slow on that Jogun makes it where the bike takes a turn in front, and bike is still having all skills.
Yeah, that third skill going to be able to cleanse, heal up on that Chandra right now, and the defense break early.
That is so much damage. That was close to 7k per hit. Chow has to do a lot of work to get to those kind of numbers.
He does, but say, I'm not preying on his downfall, it's only you.
Well, let's actually see what we have, because we have some of the colleagues of Chow being stunned right now. Those have potential with a lot of damage. Chow, how much can you do? Because in the end, there is still healing potential. And yeah, I can't really see a world where Chow can take it out. However, I must say, the Chow is doing a fair bit of damage over here.
He is doing some good damage, but if you get him rid of that Lamilla soon, she's not going to have a skill 2. Miles can maybe finish it off after.
Ooh, we had a crit from the Sagma taking it out. Lamilla, oh, you can take it out right now, but you have the Bayek moving in front because of the slow on that Lamilla. Simply taking out 20k damage. That's already good damage, but I don't really see a world where a Chow wins against the Miles plus multiple units next to it.
Yeah, let's find out. It's the time of Chow. Is it now or is it never, say?
Let's see, Chow, if you additional turn every turn in this game following from here, you have a potential chance right there, but let's see if he's able to do that. Because in the end, there's going to be a lot of resets, or not so many resets. Stuns, not so many stuns. Skill 3, that's going to be a lot of damage, and that's all Chow. No, Chow survives with 1 HP! Chow, well, you still have to go for a lot of justice and a lot of procs. Does get the justice, just get the procs. It's gonna take it out. Is that enough? I think that is slightly enough, or that is 10.1%. That is 10.1% HP, taking out the Chow.
Famicom taking the 1-set lead against GOLEMPICHAGA right there. The curse of Chow remains in the vivid nightmares of Seishizu, but not for tonight. You're safe tonight, Sei.
Well, that's the thing. Chow often feels like Chow really should do good in this matchup. I would say that this was not the most dominant matchup for the Chow, but I have to give credits to the Chow of Golem. It looked very strong. It did do a lot of damage, and that's often where Chow feels a little bit lacking. However, did also get a few resistance his way, did get a few additional turns, and still couldn't make it work. So even with that going in favorable position, still Chow didn't get the victory over there. So one of those units, it can do a lot, but in this case, just simply did not. Pre-bans. We're taking a fair bit of time for the pre-ban right here.
Yeah, we are, and we're looking at him right now. So we went double water in the first lot of pre-bans. We're going double fire here. Sekhmet being taken out, and that fire hacker as well. GOLEMPICHAGA has free reign to get an Oliver.
Yep, free reign for an Oliver, but I think Famicom does know that it's coming, so you can prepare your own counter. Does he lock in something very fast, expecting a Shiho going in there? Does go for our own Oliver, and we have back the Joe Gun.
Yep, again, going very meta right here in the first 3 picks. Who's been studying it more? This is the first set loss of GOLEMPICHAGA in the whole competition so far. Is it his downfall right now?
Let's see what it is, but that's definitely a Josephine trying to counter all of the 3 stuns that are on the side of GOLEMPICHAGA right now. Are we going to pair that up with a Heigang? But the Heigang is only countering Shiho, so maybe not the best of takes over there. Also, the Jogun is providing an attack buff right now, but it's not providing an attack buff for a unit that really likes to scale that much on the attack. But there you have one.
Yeah, Mi Ying coming out. We know if it gets into that bruiser situation, how dangerous the Mi Ying can be on the field. That could partner up well with the Heigang as well, with some buffs to come out of his own skill too.
Yeah, definitely an option for Heigang over there. On the other side, GOLEMPICHAGA doesn't have that much value for Heigang, but has to see if he can meet the bruiser setups. I could be thinking something along the line of a Maewang and a Misty, and maybe make your way work over there. Or we're actually going to go for a unit we haven't seen in a fair bit of time, called the Sagar, and pairing that up with a Lamila.
Yeah, he's seen it there. He's trying to get some cool times inserted into the other units. Probably that 3rd and 4th pick that he's seen from Famicom right now. This 5th pick, are you fully tilting into the bruiser?
I would say so, and if you do, once again, a Misty would do great, a Maewang would do great, because those 2 units don't care as much about the stuns. Especially if you go Maewang and you ban out that Lamila, Maewang pretty much has free reign on that whole match.
Oh, going in for the Asher, getting some damage again through another unit right there on the side of Famicom. Are you just going to have to respect something of the speed leads, or...?
I'm not too sure about the speed leads. My eyes go more out towards that Lamila, because if the Lamila starts landing the provokes, it could be very deadly. But on the other side, the Bayek is the main source of healing, so removing that could be very interesting as well.
Let's find out. They've got 5 seconds, both of our players right now, going into our set number 2 right here. They are going to be the Jogun, and that speed lead from Ciara has been taken out right there. So we're going to be getting a speed lead from Oliver with that 33. Maybe even a defense or an attack lead, depending on what you kind of figure on Golem's side. Getting that defense lead into our set number 2. Famicom versus GOLEMPICHAGA. Can he extend that lead and get another step closer to joining us at the Europe Cup?
Let's see, how many turns do we take before the enemy does move? We actually have the Shiho outspeeding units without a speed lead. That's always a very good side, because then you can look at it. Stun does not connect the stun, but we have an awkward turn at this Oliver because the Bayek is not outspeeding the Oliver.
Yeah, actually very good they didn't actually get the stun right there to allow that Josephine to come in. Can she get a provoke right now though? Does
get the provoke, but we also have Sagar's skill 3. It is on a longer cooldown right now, but it still does exactly what it did back in the meta days. Big question right now is, do you want to do it on the Mi Ying, or do you actually want to reset the potential shields coming up?
Yeah, right now you've got that option. Do you want to land in some damage, or do you want to put up the prevention of an AoE coming out later?
Goes for the damage, and that is a good amount of damage, but that is also the Okeanos with a Rain of Stones. If you send the Rain of Stones right now, you would get a counter, but does take care of that first.
Yeah, right now you can look to get some stuns in. You've reset that Mi Ying. It's looking very uphill for Famicom right now.
Ooh, but the uphill battle starts off with an Oliver on an additional turn. Can we actually land our skills? We do connect our skills, and that is a good amount of damage. Once again, coming from that Oliver. Are we looking at a crit rate Oliver?
Could be. I mean, skill 3 right now with some branding. Going to be doing some good damage. Getting... Whoa.
That is more than good damage. That is the kind of damage that nearly annihilates the whole team. And GOLEMPICHAGA is absolutely sitting in the driver's seat over here. Okeanos just not being controlled well enough, and therefore Okeanos can do a lot of work. We still have some potential with the two amazing bruiser units on the field right here. Probably have to take out that Cigar. However, the Cigar already used all of the skills. So do you want to send it over there, or are you gonna go on this Okeanos?
Going for the Okeanos then, hoping that Mi Ying can come in and just do a skill 1, but... Oh!
Ooh, 15k split between the two units, and that is a little too much to work with. And we're gonna go for a victory on the side of GOLEMPICHAGA, going for a 1-to-1.
Yet again, GOLEMPICHAGA sticking to water, wind, and fire, and managing to secure a win then, even against a very scary bruiser output coming from the side of Famicom with that Mi Ying. He just managed to get through it in the end, say. I mean, again, studied that meta pretty damn well.
Absolutely. And it's also interesting to see where I would say that the Fire Hacker is not that strong as a pre-ban. Lamila is something that he's been using all the time. Fire Hacker is just there the moment he has like the perfect option to draft it. So pre-banning that Lamila makes a lot more sense because it's one of those units Famicom is not using himself, and he still has all of the options for the rest of the meta. First pick, Oliver. Yes, sir.
Exactly. We're going back to it. Oh, a steal of a Sekhmet then coming out from the side of GOLEMPICHAGA.
Interesting segment over there. I do see the options for, once again, we're going back to the Jogun, but what would we like to pair with a Jogun right here? Because Josephine doesn't add that much. Assure, I think Famicom has a very strong Assure ruined up, so it could be an early pick on an Assure, just as more of a comfortable pick rather than a super hard counter pick.
Let's see what this third pick is going to be for Famicom right here. Are you going to keep on going with that turn 1, with the attack, or are you pivoting already? We're seeing an Assure, maybe a little bit of a pivot.
A little bit of a pivot on both sides. On the other side, very fast lock-in on that Heigang, and the Okeanos is liking the style over there. Famicom, do you have any of your LDs that are solving the comp that is on the opposing side? Or are we going to go back to a Chao? Chao Meowing? Chao Misty? Is that what we're looking for? Or is that actually something else coming?
Yeah, Chao coming out. Wow, first time we're seeing Juno as well, potentially at these Europe prelims. Going to be eating up any of those debuffs, but opting out. Oh, okay.
Ooh, going for a Julian. Julian is very strong next to a paired unit that heals himself. Chao does that, but are both of them gonna make it into the match though?
Yeah, do you have to take out one of those damage dealers? In my honest opinion, Julian's damage, if you get that skill 2 on a defense break from a Bayek, pwah.
I do think that GOLEMPICHAGA is looking at a favorable match as long as he still has the Okeanos in the field. Because if the Okeanos rotation goes off well, I think he's looking very strong. So I think a Jogun ban, but on the other side, you have to respect that Okeanos or the Sierra for the damage output.
Let's see, we've got an Oliver ban and the Heigang then that's been taken out right there. We're going to have a speed lead coming out from the side of GOLEMPICHAGA. We're going to take a fire attack lead, a water defense lead on the side of Famicom. Fire attack lead coming in from that Jogun. More damage through the Bayek in our set number 3 of the Europe Preliminaries. Famicom versus GOLEMPICHAGA, currently 1 apiece.
Yeah, let's see, because actually the Jogun is attack scaling, whereas the Bayek is barely any attack scaling. Do we take out? Ooh, we did get resisted, but we pushed back enough, and that is just enough to do it already. Skill 3, Rain of Stones, a lot of damage, not landing on the child, but doesn't matter at all. You have to land this on the Bayek right now. Does connect it on the Bayek, no reason to explode as of thus far, I would say.
Not right now. You've got Julian coming in. Can you get some stuns of your own? Does get it and gets that nice additional turn to get the skill 2 next time. Oh.
But that is something that is Okeanos also has something to say about. You can reset the Julian right now, but I think resetting the Chao. Ooh, goes for a reset on a unit that wasn't supposed to take any turn anytime soon, so I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you're Famicom, you need to get rid of that Ciara, right?
Yeah, the Sierra is going to be very deadly. Also, this Curse of the Beautiful. Do we land the armor breaks? We did not connect that many armor breaks. In this case, I would almost send the S3 just simply to chip out the damage, but not waste a full turn, and you can gain some attack bar from it.
Yeah, but however, if you don't keep that skill 3, both those units are going to cleanse if a bomb goes on.
That is also very true, but I think you have the other units that might potentially do a double miss crit from the Julian. Yeah, that is still something in this kit. You mostly want to pair that up with just 70 crit rate.
Exactly, and it's still not enough to get rid of that Okeanos. Get some cool times going in. Maybe just confirm your kill right now.
Confirm the kill. He's trying to... Oh, once again, Segment is not landing the skills right here. The Jogun is reset, so it will take a little bit of time for actually to do anything, but we do have the bomb right now. Bomb on the Chow, and then a skill 3 will seal the deal for the victory right there. Ooh, not fully taken out, but this skill 3 will do.
There we go. GOLEMPICHAGA 2-1 up against FAMICOM right there, say. Again, anyone out of these two, well, only one of them can have an LD on the field, but when the LD is on the field, they have lost. What is happening with our meta right now?
The meta is very normal elemental friendly, as we would like to say it. It's definitely all about the normal elemental units. The Shihos, the Okeanos, the, well, also very well added into the Lamila and those kind of things. It's just doing incredibly well for the people that have been playing a lot of matches in this meta, and I definitely can see the difference between people that played a lot of matches in this meta or people that are just doing a lot of matches on paper or in their mind and thinking like, hey, this should work. Because in the end, there's so many niche interactions between one of the units with one another and what does work or doesn't work. It's very interesting to see.
Exactly. I'd love to see these people's notes written down if they're doing it in their head. What are you doing? Put your practice. Make sure you're ready for these matches. It's your chance to be at the Europe Cup here, folks. Ciara being banned and an Asho being pre-banned out this time around.
That definitely does sound like a Oliver pick in my book, but we could also go for a Shiho pick right here. Let's see what's being locked in by GOLEMPICHAGA in that first pick.
Yeah, he's going to lock in that Shiho. He's going to allow an Oliver to go out on the side of FAMICOM. Most times I think he was responding with the Ciara, so taking that away.
And we have the segment going on the side of FAMICOM. Lots of segments actually today. It was a unit I wasn't expecting that much, but we have seen a fair bit of her. Then GOLEMPICHAGA, what kind of speed lead would you be liking to go for? Or do you go for any speed lead? It's actually taking the Jogun, which is very interesting because Jogun without the speed lead, I'm not sure if that's going to do enough.
Yeah, let's find out. Cigar coming back into the frame, hey. Okeanos there as well. We know how dangerous he can be, but we've only seen him in the hands of GOLEMPICHAGA in this matchup.
I could definitely see a Heigang potential right here for FAMICOM because a lot of the units do have some kind of form of strip. Actually, it's going to go for a slight older meta on Wind Twin Angels.
Yeah, Wind Twin Angels coming out maybe to get some slows through there, but is it going to be even taking a turn? Maybe locking a speed lead at this point if you're Golem?
Well, I could see a Nobara going in here and doing very strong. Oliver is definitely a thing that would counter Nobara, but I think a Wind Nobara would be exceptionally strong. That is fairly interesting on the Samath, because Samath mostly isn't what you would like to play into resets. And I count 3 resets on the side of FAMICOM. I'm absolutely loving the Douglas. I'm pretty sure the Douglas will be banned. Otherwise, that matchup will be very difficult. But the Samath, I'm not too sure about.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, interestingly here, like you said, if you take out one of the cool time inserters, there's still a lot of them around on the field right now. Do you just have to get rid of an Oliver?
I don't know. Like, I feel that you would have a pretty difficult matchup that way. It might be that he goes for a potential where his Jogan could simply outspeed and he wins the match from there no matter what he has. But the big issue is that a segment is going to be faster.
Let's find out. It's here. Our set number 4, FAMICOM versus GOLEMPICHAGA, currently 1-2 in the favor of GOLEMPICHAGA. Can he secure his spot in the Europe Cup right here, right now?
Ooh, we actually have a Shiho being faster and being a stun lock, so that is definitely a different matchup than I expected, because now we can go for resets. Do we get the reset? Do we get the pushback? We do get the reset. We do get the pushback. So there's a lot of work. We actually did not reset on the side of the Twin Angels. Twin Angels are still having skills available.
They are, but can you even get a stun right now if you're that monkey? Do you want to use it now or later? Just trying to get rid of that segment off the field. Ooh.
Ooh, once again, Jogun Scroll Trap not connecting as we would like to see that. They're still slow though, so the Sakar could go for a simple slow, but I see a world where Okeanos can do a lot of work, or simply Oliver just taking additional turns.
Yep, taking those turns. You've got some defense breaks. Maybe you just even plow it into the Sekhmet, confirm your kill. We always say it.
Yep, try to confirm the kills. Does get a great stun over there, but we have an all or nothing coming in from the Monkey. Does connect the stun on that Okeanos, but it's definitely not done yet, because I have seen Oliver solo whole teams like this.
Yeah, the monkey's got some immunity and that invincibility right now, but put that cool time into the Samath, get him off the field.
Yep, and this is, as mentioned before, a crit rate Oliver. It's doing a good amount of damage. If we can land all of those skills, if we can get the right stunts, if we can get the right skills at the right moment, we could go very far. But the big question is, Oliver has to land every single one of them.
Yeah, it's up to you, Oliver. How much can you do, and can you be prevented by a cigar with some provokes?
Ooh, do you go for the kill or do you go for the pushback on the Oliver? You do not know who moves first, Oliver or this cigar. My eyes are on this Oliver moving first. And Oliver once again has a good rain of his skill 3, skill 2 cycling that he can do. Moment Okeanos get back online, Rain of Stones. We're looking at a matchup that can definitely be won by FAMICOM right here.
Exactly. It's all about if Oliver, does he get resisted at any point right now? You need to get some attack bar boost up there.
Attack bar boost. Oliver's having issues with those fire units. Stun on the skill 1. We have an attack buff. Can you actually manage to do it? Does get a stun, does not get a crit. Can you take out? Ooh, almost taking it out, but this skill 1 does take it out right here. Connecting the kills, absolutely the right choice. Oliver has a very much uphill battle right now because he has to be landing everything, and that's where he decided not to do that.
Yeah, not landing right there, and FAMICOM does concede. GOLEMPICHAGA is in the Europe Cup.
He has done it! GOLEMPICHAGA indeed is our very first qualified competitor in the Europe Cup 2025 from SWC. A valiant effort from FAMICOM there. Oliver just couldn't come up with what was needed though at the end for Golem. I mean, an incredible display. I mean, a debutant in the Europe Cup. Say, it doesn't get better than this. This is what dreams are made of, baby.
Yeah, 100%. But also besides that, the way he won 6-1. Those are really good numbers for your debutant matchups to start with a 3-0. Afterwards, lose one, but then win 3 in a row again. So definitely very well played. And it does show once again, I've mentioned it many times, he knows the meta and he knows how to play this.
Exactly. In all honesty, he might have been playing too much because he was really clean today. Apart from that one setback against FAMICOM, apart from that, I would say he played very clean. He's come to play for the Europe Cup. He's setting his, little mark at the beginning. Hey guys, I'm a debutant, but you better be watching out for all of my units.
Oh, heck yeah, he has. I mean, I think that's a really good point as well. I think the confidence factor we've seen many years previously as well plays an important part here. To get 6 games, only 1 loss across those, that is going to put some wind in your sails. Incredible scenes there, and Golem is our very first qualifier for the Europe Cup. As we said here, who will be the other 7? We're going to find out both today, tomorrow, and next weekend as well. But this is how the bracket looks after that semi-final, the first of our Europe Preliminaries, day number 1. There's one more coming your way, which is going to be, this is going to be one for the fans. There's no doubt about it. We'll break it down in a second here for you. But there you can see how things turned out, how it played through with FAMICOM's win over Nef, then GOLEMPICHAGA's win over CYBERNINJA, and then the 3-1 against FAMICOM for GOLEMPICHAGA to go all the way through to the next round. The question is, though, who is going to be joining GOLEMPICHAGA in that second slot today? FAMICOM, of course, as well, we do not see has gone for the competition. He will be there next weekend in a better spot as well, having won that first matchup today against Nef. Will be in a good position next week to go through in one of those 4 qualifying spots in our lower bracket. But you can't pay dues enough there. GOLEMPICHAGA's done an incredible job here, but I think it sets a tone here as well. I mean, Sam, sets a tone. Other players who maybe be debutants are inspired by GOLEMPICHAGA's run there, and the veterans a little bit ruffled their feathers because they see that there's a lot of players out there who are very, very capable.
Yeah, definitely very, very capable. And speaking about somebody who is definitely capable right here, it is OBABO. Again, another person who's got a lot of accolades down there on his career. Maybe not all of the accolades that he would really want in terms of just being a prelims contender. Wants to get further in that competition. But like we said before, if he doesn't drop down to that lower bracket, he probably might get to the Europe Cup right there. We've seen, though, TITOGOFLETTE had some preparations for him, had some Sonya traps, managed to play through it, though, on the side of OBABO. That Zeratu as well still haunts me and probably will haunt a few more players, say.
Yes, really one of those units that's just super strong. But OBABO has 2 of those. It's the Sonya and the Zeratu. If you know your way to play around those, then you probably have a good matchup against OBABO. But then again, PINKROID, what do you have to remove from PINKROID's box to actually make PINKROID have an unfavorable matchup? I think it is not possible because the man plays every play style there is. And if we're talking once again about knowing the meta, he's sitting at rank 2 at the moment with actually a pretty big gap over number 3 and 4. So if there's someone that knows the meta, it's got to be PINKROID.
And maybe just to add as well in here, by the way, Adam, these guys have actually played each other 12 times over the past 2 seasons of ladder RTA. 11-1 in favour of PINKROID at the moment. So if anything by stats, OBABO does have a very uphill battle right here.
I know. Or perhaps you could be an optimist and think, hey, he's due a win. He's due one. It's been a while. I think one thing is really interesting as well, if you folks at home, is don't forget, PINKROID, if OBABO manages to beat out PINKROID now and goes through in that second spot, I'm sure, and obviously all credit to OBABO, who's an unreal player, but PINKROID with the accolades, with the trio of kind of Europe Cup wins, PINKROID going into the lower brackets next weekend worries people. It worries you because you think if I'm going with PINKROID, that's scary. I mean, OBABO too. But for now though, we're going straight into this. Pick and bans are upon us. It's a best of 5. Who will be the second qualifier for the Europe Cup today on day 1 of our EU prelims or an SWC 2025? PINKROID versus OBABO. Fellas, over to you.
Did we just skip to the Europe Cup final already, or what happened? Because my screen and my eyes can't handle the beauty that's happening on there right now with our players. Let's get into these pre-bans. Oliver and a Sonzang Lao.
Respecting that Sonzang Lao, super strong unit in current meta. So Oliver not on the field. Does OBABO also go for a Shield first pick? No, actually goes for a Vanessa first pick.
Wow, we're going into some meta on the side of PINKROID though in response to it. We've got Ciara, we've got a Jogun, choosing whether he fully wants to lock that in right now, and does.
Is locked in. That's definitely an opener right there for a Shiho right there. If you go for Shiho right now, you can expect a Josephine on the other side. Josephine hard counted by that Sonya. Unless PINKROID, do you go for some kind of weird defense trap Josephine?
I mean, it wouldn't be out of the extraordinary in terms of what hello?
That is a Sonya trap if I've ever seen one right there. Thank you very much. Triana, that's what I mentioned earlier about PINKROID. He finds those units all the way at the end of the box and he might lock it in. But actually in this case, we're still going to the Josephine. But my question is, Ciara, are you a Sonya trap? Josephine, are you a Ciara trap? I would be, or like a Sonya trap, I would be scared with everything that I would Sonya.
Yeah, it's so scary. I mean, both of these players. Just look at the highest ranks that they've ever had before as well. A legend versus a second place as well. It's all to play for. This is as strong as it sometimes gets in Summoners War.
Yeah, let's see what OBABO does like to lock in against all of these units. Going back for a Chiwo. Mostly did like to pair his Chiwo with that Sonzang Lao, which he cannot have in this case. Going for a good old Changpeng. I'm liking to see that, but I think we're gonna say goodbye to that Changpeng. It's not gonna make it in that match. And if it comes down to bruisering, PINKROID has a way better bruiser matchup. Triana is actually locked in, signaling that Sonya is there to stay. I don't care.
Here we go, getting respect banned out. We've got speed leads for both OBABO and PINKROID going in to our final semi-final of today. The match 2 set 1 between OBABO and PINKROID. Is there a Sonya trap?
Ooh, Sonya trap's the all we're looking for. Ciara is a Sonya trap. You know what you're playing against. A PINKROID did do the homework.
He has done his homework. Maybe, do you even want to use skill 3 right now with the Chiwu coming? He's opting to go for it.
He does go for it right there. Chiwu is not going to do the skill. As of this moment, we're going to be looking at, do we scroll trap? Yes, we do scroll trap. We're going to go for the Blossom Painting. Getting all the immunities. Bombs. Do you connect? We do connect the bomb. We're looking at a lot of damage right here. 28k. That is the highest bomb damage I've seen so far in a turn 1 rotation.
Wow. I mean, right now he can look to try and get a defense break on, but PINKROID played the game, understood what was happening, and is in definitely the driving seat.
Ooh, did not get that Monkey stun right now. Monkey could go for an all or nothing. All or nothing actually went for more all than nothing right there. But the Josephine taking the additional turn, saying like, I am here to stay. I will control your monkey.
Yeah, provokes into stuns. Josephine so annoying right now for OBABO.
Yeah, Josephine, if Josephine takes all the turns, then you definitely know you're not going to be winning that much. Because that just simply says the stun to add more wounds to the wounds already inflicted upon other units, simply taking out all of the units. And that was the main thing. The moment we went into the bruiser match, OBABO did not have a good bruiser matchup setup right there. He had a good snipe setup. But then again, Sonya, it is obvious what she does, and it's also obvious what the counter is.
Yeah, PINKROID managing to play it. He's already throwing out some mind games, I would even say, in this match right now. Seeing how much bomb damage. Now OBABO does know at least that there are some traps set up from the side of PINKROID here. So let's be honest, are we going to see a Sonya again? Or should we hopefully not see a Sonya again?
It's definitely a dangerous thing right now. Also, keep in mind, well, we're actually not going to see Sonya because of the pre-ban, which is fairly interesting. But besides that fact, the Sierra was a Sonya trap while doing the highest damage I've seen so far in SWC in the first turn rotation. That is some insane runes right there.
Dude, my artifacts definitely don't have enough plus bomb damage percentage on any of them.
I think it's a combination of bomb damage plus attack increasing effect, because otherwise with the attack buff it's still very hard to get there. But once again, we're gonna see that lineup with the Despair Ciara on the side of PINKROID, showing a lot of damage before, but we also have very fast lock-ins with the Zhongxiang Lao now being available for OBABO. But ooh, I'm liking the Douglas. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking the Douglas right there.
Oh my god, we're getting Douglas, some more monkey business coming out right there. Say, this could be dangerous again for OBABO here. The drafting of PINKROID is incredible.
Absolutely incredible. So I would definitely see that this Barbara's gonna get banned out. I would say the Douglas is most likely gonna get banned out, but this Maya Wing is gonna do a lot of work on that whole draft. So let's see if it can actually take that out.
Let's find out. Is the Barbara going to get locked in from the side of OBABO right here? Figuring it out, trying to think at least 2 or 3 steps ahead, changing it up then for an Annabelle, but is it still just a ban that last pick?
I think it's a simple ban that last pick, and also the Douglas, you really have to respect the Douglas because that was a perfect Douglas scenario right there.
Speed lead for both OBABO and PINKROID in our semi-finals. Match number 2, set 2. OBABO currently 1-0 down against PINKROID.
How much damage can we do on this Athena? And all eyes are on this Monkey, which is also on Will Runes, which is interesting to see, but it's very good in the current meta once again because of countering a Jogan.
Doesn't get the stun there onto that Ciara, but does have the hair gang, so any of those immunities being taken away is going to take a turn. Who do you want to push up? The Oliver?
I would say probably the Monkey, because the Monkey would take more of an awkward turn. Well, Monkey could still go for a strip, so either or is kind of fine. But in that case, you wouldn't have had armor break on your own Monkey, and I think that would be the thing that I would have been aiming for.
Yeah, right now, are you just going to try and confirm kills instead of pushing back that Monkey? No, goes for the Monkey.
Ooh, goes for the Monkey. We're trying to chip away the damage, but we have some Shatter coming in, doing not too much damage, but Monkey with glancing and armor break is definitely an uphill battle. I could see it later in the game, but if he's not getting rid of that fast, it's going to be difficult.
Definitely is. Who are you going to scroll trap? Do you get rid of that Monkey? You do. You can get some attack buff coming out now as well.
Attack buff on the Monkey, but you have to be careful. Athena is known to steal your attack buff. If the Athena steals your attack buff, that might be a very dead Monkey right there, almost taking it out.
Almost taking it out. Can you get rid of that Etna in time? Not quite now. Oliver, you need some pushbacks.
Oliver is landing those pushbacks. It's actually landing everything right now. We also have, once again, a good rotation coming out of the scroll trap, and we have the victory going to OBABO.
OBABO bringing it back 1 apiece between him and PINKROID. I mean, right there, changed it up a little bit, took it to PINKROID right there, and managed to make it come off.
Yeah, I would definitely say in that matchup, if he went for a different rotation on the Shiho to actually go for skill 3 on the Zhongxiang Lao, it would have probably been better where he had less stuns, less armor breaks on him, rather than just an Oliver potential reset, but also potential missing the attack bar pushback. But that's for the previous match. Let's focus on this match where we once again have Zhongxiang Lao not on the field, neither for the Sierra.
Yeah, last time we saw a Vanessa coming out here on the side of OBABO. Are we going to see an Oliver stolen? Is Shiho already? Like, how is he going to play it?
I think that an Oliver steal is probably more interesting, but then again, the Oliver makes it where the Zeratul playstyle is less interesting itself. Plus, you might be facing Awful. Ooh, some of your own units on the opponent side.
Did you prepare some of your own Sonya traps, thinking that someone would dare to play Sonya against you?
That is absolutely a possibility right there, but let's see what OBABO does have for fast units right now, because he has the Xiao, he does have the Athena. Those are very fast, same for the Jogun. But is it going to be fast enough? Because this game is all about that speed race.
Yeah, we're going full speed contest right here with the units right now, folks. Those high base speed units like the Shiho. Oh, changing it.
Changed it up for the Okeanos, but on the other side, very fast lock-in. We have seen the Masha do a lot of damage before. Do we actually go for that Heigang? We do go for the Heigang. We do also know that that Masha is sitting on Will Rune, so it won't be affected by a Jogun in a scroll trap rotation.
Yep, how are you going to deal with that? Everything in terms of pushing back that immunity is going to allow Heigang to take a turn. If you let him on the field right there, OBABO, 4th and 5th pick, you've locked in 2 fire and 1 wind. Need to change it up.
Do we need to change that up? Do we go for speed leads right here? It's definitely a position where Moore becomes really bad because Moore is just simply a feeder of attack bar towards that Sonya. So it's going to be super dangerous to lock that in. But any of the other speed leads don't really seem that interesting. So that does actually mean that you lost the speed game just now. Barbara, speedy unit, but most likely Violet. And a Nana going back to, I would say, 2022.
Yeah, for sure. Is that a signal that you're letting that Sonya through even? Or is it again a mind game thing?
It could be a mind game thing, but also looking at what units are available to kill. The 2 fire units are off the field. The Barbara is going to be double-lived as well. The Nana is most likely a Sonya trap itself, so it might be a good setup where only the Oliver could be taken out if the Oliver even makes it to the field.
Let's find out. Bans are going to be coming in soon. This is our set number 3 of a best of 5, everyone. So we're still going to be having at least 2 more matches here. Who can take the upper hand and get into that area of being only 1 set away from the Europe Cup itself? Oliver taken out. Sonya respected as well. We're going to be having a speed lead coming in from the side of PINKROID. Accuracy on the side of OBABO. This is it. Our set number 3. OBABO 1. PINKROID 1. Who's going to take that lead?
Let's see, first turn for the Shiho. After that, we are looking at the Masha taking a turn right away. So you can do a good amount of damage on any of those units. Does connect the stun. That gives a little bit of more attack bar for this rotation on that Masha. Do we go right away for a kill? Because if you send the S2 right now, you most likely kill. But do you actually want to do it? Does not want to do it just yet.
No, doesn't. Guz get glancing across the board there from PINKROID. Can set up another defense break or just going for the cool time.
Going for the cool time, did not manage to land it. You can actually go for the strip right now. Okeanos is looking at a glancing. It's definitely not going to be landing on the monkey, but might very well land a stun on the Marsh. Actually still goes for the monkey. However, a Rain of Stone right now will guarantee not land. Also decides not to do it for that reason.
You've got some defense breaks, maybe stuns. Only 1 landing.
Only 1 landing right there. So let's see, once again, do we go for the Okeanos right now? That's resisted on the armor break, so no fair damage on that one.
No, not right now, and it's not going to be enough to get a bounce, I think, off of Vanessa right here, but you can set up a defense break somewhere.
Defense break is sitting fair and square over there. Also missing that first hit, not connecting a stun. Second hit was actually a crit while having that glancing. If you take out the Shiho right now, you do get another stack, but not enough damage just yet.
Oh, and that's not going to help because you're not going to get a turn right now on that stun as well.
Oh, there's so many things. Also not connecting the kill right there, but just a little bit of damage. Too little right there. And on that Barbara, this Shiho is just doing simply so much damage.
Exactly, OBABO's focusing so much damage into that Shiho, but now it's got the invincibility. Barbara dismounted, no orbs left on the Nana.
No orbs on the Nana, nothing to strip at the moment, so we have a Shiho just doing all that Shiho would like to do, and this is going to be an impossible battle for Nana to win solo. I did like the idea with the Nana, but in the end, it's still one of those things. You have to connect your kills to get those orbs.
Exactly. PINKROID powering through with those units right there, getting the stun on the Jogun, then Marsha coming in huge with some big hits all the way through. Marsha making a little bit of a comeback, eh?
Yeah, Marsha definitely doing very well in the current meta. It's still, like, it's a first pick Oliver meta, so that's never really bad for Marsha to shine up in the meta as well. But just the simple damage he can do, it's always good. But now in this case, we have an Oliver being pre-banned and a Hagang being pre-banned. PINKROID, what is your first pick of choice?
Yeah, what are you going to go for? Are you going to be stealing a Vanessa from the side of OBABO to maybe prevent some of the Zeratu-style gameplay that might be featured? A Ciara coming out there, 24 lead with that bomb.
24 lead with that bomb. We also do have potential this time around for OBABO to go back to the Zhongchen Lao. Actually, between both players, except for the Zhongchen Lao, we haven't seen too many LDs at all. So definitely playing the meta right here. Very early on the Layla. If you lock in a Layla this early, you are expecting to face the Seimei and the Nobara potentially.
Exactly. We know that OBABO's got that Seimei. Again, eating up those buffs. PINKROID opting against it, bringing instead that Jogun, and can scroll trap some of the units away.
Yeah, I definitely like that Jogun more. Like the Layla into a Seimei player is always super dangerous. You can get away with it with enough pushbacks or just simply insta-killing something, but it's always a dangerous job to do. So it's better leaving that in for the slot 4 or the slot 5. So let's see what OBABO does respond to it right now. Does have a potential for Layla of his own. Maybe the Zeratu. No, going back to the Zhongchen Lao.
Oh, there we go. Win Nobara coming out. You bring those units which spread a lot of different buffs around. Juno Nobara. Hey, they come to play.
I'm definitely liking the draft on side of PINKROID. Actually opting against it, taking his time for switching things around, going for the Megami. Okay. Do we still go for one of the two units? No, we're actually going to go full speed contesting, whereas OBABO only has one speed lead at the moment.
Yep, who is he going to look to try and partner this up with right now? I love that. PINKROID just in the draft is like, maybe this would work. Let me change it up. I'm going to go for something different that might also work.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking his style. I think in previous years he was way more of like instantly locking in things very fast. Did work out very well for him. But I like the reconsiderations. Like, okay, this might be a good draft, but taking it away, this might be an even better draft.
Here we are, Anavel being locked in that 5th pick right now. Can you get away with it with an Etna potentially on the field?
It's going to be dangerous. I could see a potential where you also just ban out the Vanessa, and then from the Vanessa ban, either the Jogun takes the first turn or the Etna takes the first turn. So I think the Vanessa might be banned right here.
Let's see, you're going to get rid of that speed lead, PINKROID. Currently 2-1 up against OBABO in our semi-finals of the Europe Preliminaries right here. 1 win away. Vanessa gone. Ciara gone. It's going to be a speed lead still on the side of PINKROID with a defense lead on the side of OBABO. Is this going to be it? OBABO 1, PINKROID 2. Let's get into this set.
Well, let's see, do we have full will runes? We do not have full will runes, which does mean that we're probably gonna say goodbye to this monkey right away, unless you go for stuns anywhere else. No, the monkey actually has Nemesis, so you have to go for the monkey right now. Does go for the monkey, instantly says goodbye to that monkey.
He does right now. Are you going to try to go provoke on that Annabelle? You do get it as well. Stuns to come out from this Megumi. Can you get it?
Does have to connect the stun, does not connect the stun, and that is a really good option for a Zhongcheng Lao to take over this match. Let's see if he's able to when getting all of his stuns, but also the cleanse block.
Yeah. Oh, that sleep is going to allow Josephine the turn.
Josephine the turn. Do we stun this monkey over here? Well, even if you stun the monkey right now, the NFL will have a cleanse, so it doesn't mean all that much what you stun right now. It's just a little bit of chip damage.
Yep. Are you going to still go for the heal, or do you want to just set up some defense breaks already?
I would go for the heal potentially right here, because otherwise you would have been potentially stunned by the Josephine once again. So let's see. We got a lot of those stuns coming in. Layla taking a lot of attack bar. Let's see if the additional damage on the side of OBABO is enough to get enough damage in with all of those units.
Exactly. He needs to start controlling with this Layla now. Can you get some more slows coming out? Keep them preventing from getting the turns.
That's a good amount of damage right there. And we're also got a skill 3. Good on the additional damage artifacts right there as well. And this is why the Zhongcheng Lao is being banned. The Zhongcheng Lao in combination with the Layla is just incredibly strong. Very good additional damage artifact on that. Just simply doing a lot of damage on those armor breaks.
Confirming the kill. Megumi's going to have to get some big stuns coming out right here.
Does connect the stun over there, but we're still looking at a one-turn slow across the board. Did actually miss the rotation of the sleep potentially over there. So there are a few turns to be picked up from PINKROID right here. Let's see what it can utilize on those.
Yeah, but the damage is probably lacking a lot on the side of PINKROID. You need to get rid of some units slowly, and that's the start.
That's the start, but I'm fearing for the life of this Josephine. Josephine does have an S2 right there. Does connect a 2-turn provoke, which is always very deadly.
It is deadly, and right now he needs Layla to get online, but if you're stunned, it's not going to be happening.
It's not going to be happening. Also, are we looking at skills on this Annabelle? Annabelle is not doing any skills just yet. Both players are so close. Skill 2, Eagle. Does it take it out? Does not take it out. Then we have the cleanse on the girl's prayer. Healing for 16.5k on that whole team. So all of the average you just did to take out all of the units is halfway gone.
It is. You need some stuns right here, eh? I mean, Megumi's going to be taking a turn soon. Josephine, maybe go on the Annabelle, stun it. Get Layla stunned next.
Let's see, can you connect this stun? Does go for the stun, does get a resisted on that stun. And we're gonna say goodbye to that Megumi. Megumi is not gonna live that much longer, but how much can PINKROID still do to make this match as a victory?
Exactly, I think it's very much all she wrote. OBABO potentially taking it. It's just whether he gets that Josephine down.
Yeah, the Josephine is the only thing that's needed, but we're also gonna have the monkey back. I'm not too sure at what state the monkey comes back, but it might be at a state where it does have the skills and attack bar.
Yep, let's find out. Josephine, right now, you've got some glancing, but you're going to go into that Annabelle, hoping for then a sleep on it. Oh, all skills.
All skills, all attack bar, summoning the clouds, and those clouds are not looking friendly today.
No, I've never liked looking at clouds, and that's another reason why.
Yep, and that is definitely, wow. on that NFL proc at the perfect moment, getting that goal sprayer in. It was definitely a lot of back and forth in that whole match. It looked at first that OBABO was definitely winning. Then PINKROID actually got a few turns in and looked like winning. But then OBABO with that NFL skill 2 coming up clutch, healing all of the units. And then this Zhongchen Lao could just simply do the thing. But the big question is, OBABO had 2 victories with Zhongchen Lao thus far. He's gonna lose the Zhongchen Lao once again. So let's see if that works out for him.
Yeah, can he make a play around it right here? Heigang being banned out as well as that Sun Zhang Lao. We've got that first pick. Are we going to be getting an Oliver or the Vanessa? It's up to him.
Or do we go for a Shio first pick? We also have seen that, but liking that Vanessa. So we do see a Oliver most likely being picked up by PINKROID. First of all, locking in the Shio. And going for Sierra.
Yeah, opting for this Ciara instead there with the bomb damage that we know that can come out. Josephine in response to any of those stuns that are coming out from the first 2 units of PINKROID.
Yeah, let's see what we can utilize with those stuns, because there's a potential where Obabo's Jogun is not that interesting, but if you don't pick up a Jogun, it will definitely be picked up by PINKROID right here. Going for that Adna. Let's see how much the Adna can do if there's actually a lock-in of a Jogun over here.
Yep, let's see, Jogun. We've got a different fire unit coming out there. 2 different fire units. Some sustain in 2 different forms.
Going for a more bruiser setup. That's definitely an option where OBABO can still lock in his Zeratul, can lock in his super strong Misty. So those are 2 options that he could go for if he wants to go for the bruiser route. But or is he still going to take more on a turn 1 kind of style?
Let's find out. 4th and 5th pick is crucial. You win this, you're in the Europe Cup. Lose this, we'll see you next weekend. Oh, hello.
Helena, that is a unit we haven't seen all too much. Is still commonly used as a Leo kind of trap. I am not too sure how much I like it in this setup, because in the end, with an NFL off the fields, is it going to be doing that much? Because Helena does not have the Diana passive where it just rocks in a lot of attack bar. So it could be utilized where the Shio is just simply taking that down.
Wow, Shizuka being banned out, Annabelle being banned out as well. We're going to have speed leads for both OBABO and PINKROID. It's our final set of today in the Europe Preliminaries, day 1. OBABO 2, PINKROID 2. Who's going to get the win?
We're starting off with that Athna. Athna, do we go for the stunts? We are looking at stunts. Yes, we do. Also, we have the Josephine moving in front of all of the units on the side of PINKROID because of that 33 lead. Can we utilize it to actually instantly make a kill? Cool time increase is very crucial right there.
And getting that provoke on the Bayek that's going to be taking the turn next. Wow.
There's so many things going on. Also, this cleanse right now is not helping you, because normally if you did not have that increased cool time, it would have been a stunned unit on that Helena. But in this case... missing the bomb. It's not even the best dollar in game anymore, because even that part was resisted.
Here we go. It's time for some unicorn action. Can you get some defense breaks? You get a lot of them.
A lot of the defense breaks. Are we gonna go for cycling as her sister Diana likes to do? Not in this case, but we have some shatter coming in. And I think that OBABO is going to be zooming through this match, making it look easy, simply because of that reset starting off on that first turn.
Yeah, it's Rakuni and Ashur versus the world for PINKROID. OBABO, wow.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting play over there with that Helena. It worked out very well in the end. It does do a good amount of damage. And against the Rakuni, that's not going to be in there. So OBABO is not going to jinx himself. He makes it into the cup in day 1.
Yes, he does. OBABO is going all the way to the Europe Cup. It's great to see that he'll be joining Golem as our 2 players confirmed from day 1 here of our Europe Preliminaries. They're 3-2 against PINKROID. Just when we thought PINKROID, the grasp, like a constrictor, around OBABO's neck. Suddenly, no, OBABO comes round, turns things over, and PINKROID going through to the lower brackets next week. OBABO straight into Paris, baby. Paris. Sam. Yeah, incredible. I mean, OBABO, we've said, you know, we talked about jinxes and curses and all sorts of things for OBABO. He manages to skim past that and go straight to the Europe Cup, and so well deserved.
100%. It's one of those things that you're taking so much confidence of. He had a very, very tough bracket draw as well, let's be honest. TITOGOFLETTE and PINKROID, and has now managed to secure his spot already at the Europe Cup. He's going to be flying high right now. Pinky, though, in a lower bracket. I do not want to face him in a lower bracket ever. I never want to face him ever, but in a lower bracket of an SWC, no thank you.
Well, as Adam was saying before, we had the record of 11 victories for PINKROID on the ladder against OBABO in like 12 matches. He was due a victory. Well, he just took that due victory right here, and he's taking his ticket to Paris.
Indeed he is. OBABO and GOLEMPICHAGA confirmed as your qualified first two competitors in the EU Cup 2025 here on SWC. Incredible scenes there. PINKROID, as we talked about, the cat amongst the pigeons. He'll be there next week. We'll see exactly how that'll turn out when PINKROID's up against the wall. We'll have to see how we'll scramble out of that one and make his way through to the Europe Cup. It's going to be very, very fun for us all to watch there. We've seen the qualifications there. Let's confirm things right now for you guys. I hope you can see exactly what's happened. There they are. The profile picks. They're in. You can see September 20th is going to be the Europe Cup coming your way here. Golem and OBABO, they're sat there. They are ready. Our first two officially qualified competitors in the Europe Cup.
Yes, and it's also super interesting to see where, if we look at this picture for the America's Cup, it filled in with 8 players already. All of them were wearing the shirt except for one of the shirt of last year. And this time around, we already have 2 out of 2 that were not in there last year. So all up for grabs for the people that weren't there before.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, up for grabs. Speaking of which, predictions-wise, the event, it's ongoing in the prelims here. You can earn awesome rewards, exclusive SWC 2025 emblems. There's prediction points all the way to the World Finals. You can earn tons and tons of things. This is all about you guys at home as well, watching this. We're all watching this together, but you get to take something away with you as well here. The shop event as well, of course, is back with even bigger rewards. You can earn SWC 2025 emblems, as mentioned, predicting, live stream coupon codes. There might be some coming your way. Keep your eyes peeled and exchange them for amazing rewards too. There's loads of fun ways that you can also benefit and walk away with something almost as cool as being in the Europe Cup. I mean, it's almost as cool, I guess, Sam.
Yeah, definitely almost as cool. Maybe try a little bit harder and we'll see you on the screens, you know? Why not?
Well, we talked about it. We saw earlier on, like we talked about FAMICOM being on the stage, challenging the competitors, is very much in this competition. I mean, next week we'll see them in the lower bracket, but still, like these dreams, they can come true.
Yeah, absolutely. We also see it for GOLEMPICHAGA. Like he came in as Debuchan, 6-1. That's insane numbers. You know what? Also good numbers. More coupon codes.
Yes, the number 4 right in between Gearing and Paris. Gearing for Paris. That is your coupon code you can walk away with as well. We saw one earlier on. This is another one for you guys. An event coupon. Mystical Scrolls. SWC emblems. All incoming your way courtesy of Gearing for Paris. A little reward for the entire team to say thanks for being here and watching and supporting the broadcast as always, which has been absolutely stellar. I think we've agreed. Like we saw a lot of very, if not all of them, incredibly competitive matches today, Sam. We're already looking forward to seeing what's going to come tomorrow. Obviously, this is day 1, day 2 as well here, which is going to be, well, it's going to be amazing because look, we've got all these players ready and waiting to try and qualify as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as well, again, another stacked bracket in Europe. That top side, Glorious, Ismo, Pafix, Typhoon, these guys have like been around before, so I'm super excited to see what they're going to be bringing to the table. And of course, that one French player still remaining, Mina. Can he get through?
Yeah, and it's also the big question, like, if you do not make it through, who do you have to play against in the day 3? If you're up against a Neff in your first round or a PINKROID in your second round, you definitely do want to take your victories on day 2 so you don't have to play that day 3.
Yeah, that's such a good point as well, because it is a slog to get all the way through in a day 3, but it tastes sweet when you get there. But if you can do it earlier on in days 1 and 2, honestly, trust us, it's worth doing. It's worth your while. But you've got some big matches. I mean, Ismo Glorious, the first match of tomorrow, is going to be absolutely electric as well here. Of course, we are back tomorrow. You're going to see the whole of day 2 of the SWC EU Prelims 2025 coming your way the same time. Final thoughts here, say, of today. Any final thoughts, then followed by you, Sam, quickly.
I would say I really love the match. It's really interesting to see of like how much preparation people can do, but also it's interesting to see how very few LDs are used compared to previous years. We barely saw any.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've been watching today and you're one of the players that's playing tomorrow, maybe get some ladder matches in, doing the current meta, because it might pay in your favour to get through tomorrow. But let's see if they do their homework.
Yeah, we'll see. We cannot wait to have you guys join us again for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. On behalf of myself, Say and Sam, thank you. We'll be here tomorrow for day 2 of EU Prelims. Have a good one. Here are some highlights of the day. We look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Bye-bye for now.